Somebody pass around the offering. Cause I'm always preaching on tracks, you feel me? I'm not gonna get paid for it. Sermon of the day. You right where you supposed to be, baby. Informant, that information forming. Important you get a portion of fortune pouring. Confession, fortunately, blessings on now they snoring. You mellow, so focus on scoring. Got you underperforming. I never expect something, never assume nothing. Judging me for my past, but that's why I'm triumphant. I don't demand, I know where I stand like engineer hands. Watch how my life pans. That game plan, show out like a jotter, pop out like a cutter. Telling the quick rock, skipping the course, squares like hopscotch. This gonna be my mood to my beat drop. Putting my boogie shoes in my diddy boots, ain't no stop. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life.
Everybody, happy Thursday. Y'all know that's my song. Gets me in the mood. Gotta shake off the day, shake off the week, and get ready for the weekend. What's popping, good people? Good evening, everyone. Welcome in. It is Thursday night, my favorite day of the week. Why? Because I get to come on here and share 60, 90, sometimes 120 plus minutes with y'all. Sometimes the conversations we have when it goes after dark, they go on a little longer, but it's all good. But either way, welcome in, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Bravo with Sheila Network. As you know, and for those who don't, I am the Thursday night host, Lady Dawn B, and I am so glad to be here. Always appreciative that the curator of this amazing space, none other than Pastor Sheila Ingram herself, my Auntie Bravo, yields me this captain's chair every 30 night to spend this time here with you. So we have great conversation, we have great discussion. It is never a space where we are judgmental. This is where we come to just dialogue, to hopefully learn and glean from one another so that we can be better as ourselves, so that we can show up better for the people that we love and for the people that even sometimes maybe we don't. Who knows? But here on Thursday nights, we are not here to convict nor to convince. We are just here to have great conversations so that we grow together. It's not a counseling session. It's not therapy. But while we do have licensed counselors and therapists as a part of our team, on this night, we put down our titles and our licenses and all that, and we just come and talk. Because sometimes you just need to talk, right? So that's what we come to do. Also, just want to let you know that while we are not a Christian network, we respect everyone's thoughts, feelings, and opinions. Whatever your moral compass is, we appreciate it. And we just ask that you would share your thoughts, feelings, and opinions. Everyone's are welcome. But we ask that you do so respectfully. That is our number one rule here, is respect. And should disrespect, be found anywhere in the comments, in the panel, or any of that, unfortunately, we will have to remove you from the space because we try to make sure that we keep it as a safe space and that we remain integral. And with that being said, one of the people who work here with us, she's the greatest moderator to ever do it in these YouTube streets. That's right. And she belongs to us and us alone. She is none other than Ine Kenya. And we appreciate you. Good evening, Ine. Thank you for being on your post per usual. She is the sweetest thing that God sent on this side of heaven. However, she will be quick to hit that remove button should disrespect be found. So we want her to keep her trigger finger, on relax. We want to keep the safety on it on tonight. And we want to make sure that we remain respectful on tonight. All right. And for those of you who are in the silent section in those expensive seats, we ask you, come on down to the comment section. Say hello. We want to greet you. We want to say hi. I promise you it is a safe space. We have security. I got your back. So don't worry. You're fine. Come on. Say hello. We just want to greet you properly. Let's see who else we have so far. Other than Ine in the building, we have my Monday Beyond the Mic co-partner. She is the host. I'm the co-host. We're like Batman and Robin, Thelma Louise, SpongeBob, Patrick. I don't know. All those dynamic duos, Batman, Robin. Hey, Dr. E, thank you for joining on tonight. And while I'm mentioning Mondays Beyond the Mic, you can join us every Monday night right here at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time where Dr. E and I are on again talking, sharing about relationships. I promise you it's the best 60 minutes you could ever spend on a Monday night. So come on and join us. You can also, if you don't mind, please, man, please, sir, hit that thumbs up button. It just however you want to do it. One finger, two finger. However, just tap that like button. We appreciate it. It is free 99 for you, but it means everything to us as it helps to push us out and share this great information. And we have some dynamic guests and company that come on and share in this space with us. So if you don't mind, please do. Excuse me. And while you're at it, please feel free. Help yourself and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any of the notices that go on, any of the shows that will come up. We invite you to please come on in and share with us. We promise you that this is a space where we grow. We love to talk and grow with each other. All right. Now, if you do, I know I said earlier, this is not a spiritual space. You know, this is where we have conversation. However, if you are in need of any spiritual guidance, encouragement, word, whatever it is that you need, you can go across the street to the Sheila Ingram Ministries Network. Over there, you have everything. We have Pastor Sheila. We have my mom, Pastor Rosa. We have Reverend Jenny. I promise you, you will get your whole soul straight over there as they minister through word, through song, through prayer, just so many different avenues. You can join them on Tuesdays. My mom, literally my mom who birthed me into the world, she is on every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. She comes on and shares a word. And then you can also join them on Fridays for the Women of Grace. They are on sharing, walking us through these women of the Bible and other things. And Pastor Sheila is also on. You'll see her popping up on both sides. You'll see her on the ministry side, and sometimes you will see her on this side sharing from the counseling corner. I'm telling you, listen, just make sure you subscribe to both channels because you don't want to miss any of the amazing things that are going on both of these spaces. So let's see who else we got in the chat before we get into this great conversation on tonight. Let's see, we have my sis is in the building. That's right. You know it. The Paris Ron Thomas is in the house. Hey, sis, thank you for tuning in, for joining, and for being in the building once again. Y'all, you know, like it's Thursday. It's just what it is, y'all. You know, it's what it is, right? Well, my sister's in the building on tonight. Thank you for joining, Paris. And we have Sir Eric. You already know he's a part of our squad on our panel, and he'll be up in a little while as well. All right. And for those of you, again, who don't want to show, who don't want to pop in and say hello and greet us, we greet you anyway. We sending you love. Hopefully you'll feel comfortable enough to come on down to this space in a little bit and join us in conversation. All right. Well, with that being said, I think that is all of our governing announcements. I feel like we in church. You know, that's how we do it. And again, while this is not a spiritual space, y'all know, as I always say, I'm a God's girl. So what? You're going to get a little Jesus when you get me every time. But whatever your moral compass is, we welcome it here and we appreciate you. Oh, let's see. My sis Alicia is. Hey, sis, how you been? I have missed you, girl. It's good to see you. Thank you for tuning in on tonight. And I hope that you will just sit back and enjoy the conversation. Now, we invite you to make your comments in the chat. We want to make sure that your comments are seen and shared. And let's talk about it. So before I bring our guest on tonight, you know, you're only a guest one time. That's usually the first time you come on the show. And after that, you are family. I want to tell you, she says she misses us. Miss you all. Yes, we miss you too. And we're glad that you are back. So guys, you know, in this month of July, we've been talking about family matters. We talked about life after divorce. We've talked about a few other things. See, my mind can't even go back and remember because we're at the end of July now. But while we were talking about family matters, we were talking about the things that come up in families that make a world of difference. We know that during the summertime, there's time for family reunions. This is where people get together. You know, we're planning little trips, mini trips, big trips, but people you haven't seen for a long time, or, you know, those who maybe you saw yesterday. But it's a time where families gather. And a lot of times there are things that go on within our family dynamic that never get addressed, that never get dealt with, and they affect our relationships. One thing on tonight I do want to talk about as I prepare to introduce you guys to my sis who's coming on as our special guest tonight. And I'm so excited. So I'm trying to conduct myself properly tonight. Okay, because my sis is here, my little sis is here. So I'm excited and I want to make sure that I act right. But y'all know that don't last very long. Um, I want us to consider one thing on tonight, and I don't know if we need a trigger warning or not, because we're going to be talking about something that is somewhat serious to the heart, but something that we've all experienced, which is love and loss. Now, we all know when we gather at these family reunions or family events, as the years go by, there are people that are missing that maybe were there with us the year before that now have transitioned and moved on into a different phase of life or not. And that affects the family as well. And sometimes we don't want to talk about it. Sometimes, those losses create tension within families, and it definitely affects the family dynamic, their presence as well as their loss. So tonight we've invited my sis. Her name is Kena Luma, and she's going to come and share with us because she has experienced love and loss, and she wrote an amazing children's book about it. So without further ado, guys, I want y'all to shout up in this chat. Those of you who are here, maybe this will get the people in the silent section to come on down. And I will ask that you just welcome my sis, Kena Luma, to the Bravo Nation on tonight.
Hi.
Hey, sis, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too. Oh my God. Thank you for inviting me. You're in my home office. So I really appreciate you, love you. I appreciate you reaching out to me and saying, I want to hear your story and I want to hear your voice. Thank you everybody who showed up for me. Also just being here, especially people the individuals who have watched my journey and know my backstory. Before I start, I just want to thank God. I know you said it's not spiritual, but I got to. I gotta just thank
Have you?
God for my right mind. Because if you knew, if you know, my daughter was my life. So, this experience is dramatic. It's a life changing, mind blowing, heart wrenching, gut punch feeling to lose a loved one. I know we all have experienced loss. Either lost a parent. Most times we lose our parents. We lose maybe an aunt, uncle, or grandparent. But I'm gonna just drop the bombshell. Losing a child, there is no um, feeling. There is no emotion to describe it. The only way I can truly describe the loss of a child is, and I'm going to introduce myself. I just want to go ahead and take it out of the way so everybody knows what I'm going to be discussing. And if I start crying, y'all will understand.
It's all right.
Losing a child is like giving childbirth like 3 times over. It's like pushing out a whole child again and again and again. And just for those who are very sensitive, and this might be too much for you, it is totally up to you. I'm not pushing nobody away, but it will get very intense. I am going to go into some information as well as talking about my personal story. I guess this is the time God wanted me to do it, because there are people that are suffering from grief, even if you haven't lost a child, but losing somebody that close to you, it can change your life. I know earlier this year, my sister lost somebody like a sister to her that was near and dear, not even like a sister, basically her sister. And um, loss of different people make a different impact, but a loss of a child is, the only word I can describe it is like you're being hit by a bus, a train, and a tractor trailer at the same time. So, with no further ado, my name is Kena Luma. Some of you guys know me by Kim. That's my middle name, but I go by Kena. I am actually an author. Here's
Yes.
my daughter's children's book. I have 9 books that I've already pre-written. I just have not released them. I have the manuscripts, the artwork. So next month there will be a book coming out. um I I am still a mom in the spirit realm, but and my daughter is with the Lord, and I'm grateful for that. another thing, just so that you guys know about me, is I am a certified life coach, but I specialize in grief. That is the calling that was placed in my life. I am a business owner. I have multiple businesses. I do credit repair. Not only do I do credit repair, I do financial planning. I assist people with getting their startups, their businesses going, LLCs, corporations. I help you get your articles of a corporations to get your business plan going. I help with LLCs. I do tax preparation and accounting, work and bookkeeping if you need me for that. I do all of those things, but I've truly stepped into my calling as a grief coach and support coach. Because grief, you can go to a therapist, and if your therapist, and no disrespect to the therapist, they went to school, they got their education, but I went through therapy and I sometimes go to therapy on and off. It is not the same unless that therapist has physically sat in your shoes and lost their own child. They can give you all the book words, the medical terminology. They cannot hold your hand through that grief for real. And I actually, the therapist that I went to, the second therapist I went to, actually did lose her son, her husband. And I asked her before I mentioned this information, because she said she would jump on and watch when she could, because she is married with children. But I asked her if it was okay. I'm not going to give her name out, but her ex-husband at the time, well, they were married, but they ended up separating because he ended up losing his mind. Rolled over their son. He fell asleep thinking everything was okay, and he rolled and suffocated his their son. And unfortunately, it was a tragic accident. He never got his mind right. And let me tell you, I can relate to how he felt, because he ended up unfortunately unaliving himself. And he just couldn't bear the loss. He ended up deteriorating, just going downhill. His mind, he lost his mind. And then she couldn't deal with it anymore. They end up getting a divorce. And then he end up months later, because of the divorce, the loss of the child, and all of this stuff, end up unaliving himself. So grief, if not, I'm gonna say this again, if it's not God keeping you, you can really lose your mind. With that being said, I lost my daughter. I only had one little girl. Her name was Evalicia. She went by Shasha. And I actually have her photo up there all the time. Her, and then I have another picture of her when she was 2. She passed on and transitioned to be with the Lord at 4. And man,
It's okay.
I thought I was gonna be able to keep this together. Okay.
You
Breathe.
listen. You take a break and take a breather as you need to. As you see, guys, tonight, it is a bit of a heavy conversation, but she has a book that she wrote about her daughter, and I just want to pop on, pop and you take breaks as you need to, because this is an important story. Why? Because again, as we are gathering with our families, we have to keep in mind that someone, whether we mention it or not, a lot of us are smiling throughout the day, because every moment of every day is not bad. Every moment of every day is not heavy. But we have to just remember and keep in mind, as we're gathering together, that someone could possibly be still in the grief process, or is grieving, or handling, or dealing with something. And these things affect our families near and far. So while you catch your breath, I want to
Thank
read
you.
some comments. No problem. We got you, sis. Hey, this is it. We here having good conversation. Read some comments, greet some people, because some people don't came in the room while we're sharing. So again, y'all welcome in my sis Kena. She is talking with us tonight about her book that she wrote about her daughter's life, who unfortunately transitioned to be with the Lord at the age of 4. And she is here sharing about love and loss. While she is absent in the body, she is present with the Lord. And again, for those of you who have different beliefs, that is perfectly fine. We embrace everyone's beliefs, feelings, culture, whatever your moral compass is. We on this side of the panel, we are believers in God. So God is our compass. So you will hear us refer to God, Jesus, because that's what keeps us together. Whatever your moral compass is, we welcome it. And we ask it, but you put your moral compass in where we say God and Jesus and get the principle of the matter, because we all, no matter what, we are all in the same space. We are living this life on this side together. So while we give Kena a second to catch her breath, just want to greet some people, because I want you to know some people that came to support on tonight. We got Michelle Roach in the building. She says, good evening, Lady Dawn and Kena. And we welcome her in. We had Eric, Brother Eric, Sir Eric, giving you 1,000,001 hand claps. We want to welcome in Verda Lynn. Welcome
That's
in.
my sister.
Hey, sis. Well, then that's my sister too. Hey, sis. Welcome in. Glad you joined on tonight. We got the Bishop in the house, Michael Claiborne, saying, good evening, Lady Dawn and Kena. Thank you, sir. You know he is no stranger to this show.
No.
And be back on with us soon so we can cut up some more. Oh, and here we go. We have my I don't even know what to call him. We fight. So if you hear us fighting on tonight, Kena, don't be shocked. Don't be surprised. We are iron that sharpens each other's iron. In the person of Vaughn Eric, he says blessings all. He puts 1,000,000 L's because he wants no one to feel left out at all. Let's see where else. Oh, and Nay says, my heart is with you, Kena. And no, she appreciates that. And Sis says, hey.
Hi.
Kena is going to tell you how you can get her book. And Nay has also put a link in the chat as well. But she is going to tell you how you can get it, because what we really want to do is we want you to purchase it directly from her if possible, so you can support. And you know what? When you purchase it directly from her, guess what? She can even sign it for you, I'm sure. And there's nothing like having an autographed copy of a book. I love it. So welcoming in everyone. If you don't mind, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you would like. And not even if you would like, please, ma'am, please, sir. And let's see. Oh, Bishop says, congratulations, Kena, on your book. You got this. And I want to just say to everyone, again, this may be a little touchy, but we're talking about love and loss because it's something that we all have experienced on different levels. Although we do know that the loss of a child hits differently, as all losses, because the relationship that is had between mother and child or father and child. And something you said in the beginning, I had to really write it down. You said that the loss of a child is like giving birth again and again and again. And that was really profound to me, because I thought about the process of giving birth and what I went through with my son. And for men, you may not understand that journey because you did not physically give birth, but you've been with or around, I hope, that support to that woman who is giving birth. And it really is nothing like it. It really is not just a physical journey, but it is a soul connection. It is the most incredible and wildest thing to feel, a person living inside you that you connect with in a way that is so much more than physical. So as you're developing this, and then the actual birthing process of that child, the transitions that we go through, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all so quick. And before you know it, it's over, and hearing you say that losing a child is like giving birth, like having that experience again and again and again. It's like I couldn't imagine the detangling of all of these things that we built up, in that process, because now you have to work it backwards, because now that connection is different. Hold on, guys. Welcome in the curator of this amazing space. Pastor Sheila Ingram herself is in the building. She says, blessings, everyone. Love you, Auntie Bravo. Salute to you. Thank you for joining us on tonight. So I wanted to just pause there and say, just acknowledge how profound of a statement that is, so that people can understand that journey. It's the reversing of those things. So let me ask you this before you share more of your story. while we know the book is about your daughter's life, what made you what made you write it now, and release it now? Now, this is Kena's first release of her book. This is the first book that she's written. So, guys, I want us to support her, rally around her. Let's make this thing big and blow up, because she has a whole series. Okay, you're gonna buy one, you'll buy them all. You know, get a subscription. I don't even know if she has subscriptions. Maybe you ought to think about this. I don't know. But whatever it is, make sure that you get it. You know. So in the journey of writing this now about your daughter's life, did you find it easy or hard? Because sometimes writing is freeing, you know. So what was that process like for you in even putting pen to paper, your emotions down?
So I'm going to give you a sneak peek of the book because I want people to understand who my daughter was. Anybody who knows my daughter, this is the type of person my daughter was.
Beautiful.
Um, so the reason why I actually am a writer, just a writer in general, I just automatically can just think of something and I write. And I knew after she had passed on, I needed something to hold on to. And so the reason why I started writing is because I was like, I always said, "Oh, I'm gonna write a book, I'm gonna write a book, I'm gonna write a book," but I never did it. But then I had gotten a prophetic word that I was going to be an author, and I was like, yeah, I don't know what y'all talking about. So um after she um passed away, I had to do something to keep myself feel connected, because what I used to do is I used to go to her, go to the cemetery, and she's in a mausoleum and she's way up high, but I would stand there and I would like just speak to her, like I know she's not there, but it just made me feel some way. And I would just, because she loved to read, so that's something else about my daughter. She loved to read. She was like a very highly intelligent 4 year old. She actually spoke four languages. She spoke Mandarin,
Because I'm
Spanish,
I'm
English, and
struggling with
Creole.
sometimes. I'm struggling with English. So bless her.
So I would speak to her in Creole and English, and I was like, well, I need to do something with all of these stories. I just started just thinking about things, and then I thought about things, that little things that she would do, that triggered me into thinking, oh, well, I could, write about this. So this first book actually is about, this is a true story. So these stories that I'm actually doing are true stories about things that my daughter actually did and people have witnessed and experienced, even her Sunday school teacher. So the books are based on real things, real life events of my daughter. So this first book is like, it's called Evolution, the First Day of Spring, and it essentially talks about like just, it's not like a big thing. The next book will be a little bit more deeper, but it was about her like just giving a little girl in the Sunday school class her teddy bear, her praying, because I was teaching her how to pray, even though she could just pray one sentence, but I was teaching her to do those things. So it was things. And then my daughter, by the way, believe it or not, Lady Dawn, could make eggs. She could stand on the chair and make scrambled eggs. I
Okay.
think my mom taught her, but I could not go in the kitchen and start making scrambled eggs. And she would literally get the chair and stand there and like want to take over. And I'm like, little girl, you're going to burn yourself. But she made scrambled eggs.
It's like, mommy, I got this.
Yeah. So she was she was wise beyond her years. And the time that the low 4 years that I had her, honestly, I felt like she was 50, like just the way she was. And then so the reason why I chose to write this is because a lot of times we don't recognize, I didn't know the importance of my child until I no longer could hug her anymore. And I'm smiling because I'm thinking about her smile and how she would say, bye mommy, I love you mommy, and those things, and those little things that you don't remember, but as you're replaying the memories, because when I was in therapy they would say, don't always think about the bad, but think about the wonderful memories. And I was like, well, why don't I put the memories to paper? So I just started building manuscript and putting those memories to paper, and that's what I did. So I have literally nine more manuscripts that I've written, and I'm not gonna release them all now. The second book is coming out next month, and I won't tell you guys the title, but This is a limit. The reason why this is a limited edition, I'm going to explain this to you, is because I didn't know if this was really something I wanted to do for her.
Mm-hmm.
So I did it. And honestly, some of the individuals who had bought the book said they loved it. Some people ordered 2 or 3 copies, and then they like said that they just absolutely enjoyed it. Her school, her teacher, because she was in school actually, she was 4 in school. So like the book. So I am now forced to write more books, and they're like, man, this is really evolution. Even her teacher said, man, this is evolution for real. Like I could feel her in the story. So now I'm in a position where I gotta start telling her story. And so the reason why I wrote this book is because this allows me to connect with her legacy, connect with her. And I do not feel like, honestly, I really feel like she's with me. I do not feel like she transitioned. I know that she's physically not here, but every time I start writing, um I honestly feel like my daughter is literally like with me, and I can hear her little giggles, and I'm like, oh God, this little girl's like getting on my nerves. Like I just feel like her spirit has never left. So when I say it was like having birth again, just to go back to that, it actually feels like that. Every when I was in the support group with those other mothers, even fathers, they all said the same thing. It felt like it feels like you're giving birth. Like 30 times over. And there is no, I'm glad that feeling is finally gone. But when it first happens, for that first week, I literally had to tie. This is a Haitian cultural thing. I don't know about anybody else, in my Haitian people who are here who's listening will tell you. We do this thing where we tie our stomach. I had to literally tie my stomach because I felt like I was about to rebirth again. It's traumatic. It's the most painful feeling. And I have actually talked to other people, not only Haitian, but just American people, Asians, whoever was in that support group said the same thing. When you lose a child, it doesn't matter if they're a baby or if they are 30. It literally feels like you're giving birth. I thought I was losing my mind. No, it feels like you're pushing, like you're having contractions, like the 10 centimeter mark, and you're about to push. And I mean literally push. And and then on top of that, your heart is breaking. You feel like you're having a heart attack
Yeah.
and giving birth at the same time.
I'm sure that is a lot and a very different experience. And if anyone is in the chat, and again, we're here tonight talking with Kena Luma, my sis, about her new book, about her daughter's life. We're talking about love and loss as we are talking about Family Matters this month. Because these are things that we need to keep in mind, because people, we all are connecting with our families in whatever way that we are. And everyone, I'm sure, is missing someone at the family picnic, at the reunion, at the barbecue, at that Sunday prayer meeting or whatever it is. Sometimes it seems our tables are becoming so much smaller. The table remains the same, but the seats are less and less. There was a time when you had to get extra chairs, and now it seems like you have chairs that are open and spaces, and it reminds you, of what once was versus the reality of what is right now. I want to pause for 1 second, because when this lady comes in the room, she's another one. I'm sorry. I usually scream to the top of my lungs. Hi, Mom. How are you? That's my mama, y'all.
Hi, Mom. I'm the one that always says hi to you when your daughter. I'm your second adopted daughter.
There you go. There's no adoptions here. We just family. There's no adoptions. We call it, if we have to call anything, we call them bonus kids. So you want her bonus children? Mommy,
Yep, I'm
that's
one of her bonus children.
there you go. That's your other daughter, Kena. We don't do adoptions or step nothing. We just family. Hi, Mommy. Welcome in. That's Pastor Rosa, y'all. She is over on the Sheila Ingram Ministries Network on Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. So if you want a good word, y'all go across the street and y'all go check out my mom. Okay, don't make me say it again. Y'all go check her out. I love you. Thank you for joining us tonight, Ma. I always have to do. I start screaming when she comes in. It's worse on Monday nights. But back to you and your story in this book. And I know for a lot of people, writing and journaling is a major release. It is therapeutic. It is a way to keep that connection there. Mommy says, hi, children, all of y'all. She wants to make sure everybody. She saw everybody in. It is amazing. And I love the fact that this is the way you choose to, in a sense, I guess, honor and also memorialize your daughter, that, her life continues on. It's not just because she's, her physical presence does not end her life, but this book and these series, extend it and keep her presence, on the earth, and the fact that it'll be able to help so many other people, and I commend you for having the courage to do what you're doing and to speak up on it, because so many people go through this type of grieving process and grieve in silence and alone. And grief comes out in different ways with different people. Um, so let me ask you this: for you were sharing a little bit about how you said in your culture you had to literally tie, something around your waist. Um, was that the only way that you found yourself grieving, or were there other avenues? And you said that you did go to therapy, so I want to encourage those, as I'm sure Kena will also, that therapy and God, therapy and your moral compass, therapy, and because you need to deal with the physical man as well as the spiritual man. They are to partner with one another. It's not that God or whatever your higher power is not enough, but there's some things in our nature that need to be dealt with and addressed that we can't get to at the spiritual side yet till we deal with our nature. So in your grieving process, was there something that you did or something that you did not do that you could share with the audience that might help someone else who might be walking through this journey? Because a lot of times I think we don't allow people to just feel what they're feeling, period. Like sometimes we make people feel guilty if they're not sad all the time. You don't have to be every day, or if
No.
you are, comes a point where you're living a new normal, you know but is there something that you did? Because again, imagining, the loss of a child is one of the heaviest losses that could ever happen. Yet you are flourishing, you are standing. I'm sure you still have your days, or moments, but in this journey thus far, what has been one of your keys or one of your saving graces that has helped you get through this?
Well, I'm going to backpedal a little bit because I do want to share something very valuable. When my daughter, the day my daughter transitioned, I literally um had some business to handle, and I'm not going to go into too many details of that, but I had some business to handle. She always anyway, she's with my parents every day. Like my parent, that was, I'm going to just make this clear. This is even more tragic and devastating. Losing a child period is painful. This was the only grandchild. Okay.
Mm.
I have two other siblings. They don't have any children. And I was the only one that had one child. My parents don't have any other grandchildren. So my daughter was with them like almost all the time. If she wasn't with me, she was with my parents, and my parents would cancel trips just to be with her. Okay. So when the day my daughter passed away, I had dropped her off at my mom's house. I had something to do, and then I was on my way back. My daughter died June 15th of 2024. I don't know why that day was just really off, and it was a very strange day for me. It was as if like I was being prepared for something. I saw the police department call me twice, and I was like, my police department calling me. And they told me to rush to the ER. And when they told me to rush to the ER, I lost it because I started screaming because they told me to rush because my daughter was there. She had fell in the pool. But I was like, my daughter knows how to swim. Like, and I taught her how to swim, and I'm an excellent swimmer. And she knew how to swim. I have videos of her swimming. And long story short, I went to the ER. I'm waiting. Like they put me in the special room, and I can't tell you, I can't explain this feeling to you. It is a feeling like no other when you know you're not going home back home with that child. I didn't need the doctor to tell me that she wasn't coming home. I knew she wasn't coming home. I knew what they were going to tell me, but I still lost it. I lost my mind. And this is going to be the climax to explain to you guys why it makes sense. So when they came and told me that she was not coming home with me, that I feel sorry for the doctor, but my hands went on her. My hands went on her, not in a bad way, but I just like, what? And I fell apart. First thing I did is I called my close friend. She's here because she told me she was watching. And I let her know what's going on. And it just went downhill from there. I first of all was in shock. So that's number one. I cried, but didn't, it's like my body was here, but my spirit like left because it was like, wait, what? Like, I just kissed my daughter goodbye like 3 hours ago. So
Mhm.
let's start there. Number two, the mistake that I believe I made, and I would not recommend anybody to do this, is hold in your emotions. When I first figured I was gonna, I mean, I called people, said, "Hey, my this is what happened. My daughter is gone. She's no longer coming home." I wanted to share more things, but I just did not find the words. And I think that was, I think, had I really shared everything at that moment of how I felt, I think maybe it would have lightened the load. I'm going to just share my personal experience. I'm just going to put all my business on the table. I tried to unalive myself. I did not want to live anymore. I did not want to be here. I did not want to continue. I honestly wanted to go be with her for the rest of wherever she was. I wanted to um I wanted to not be a part of society, human race anymore. And there were times I thought about every single way to figure out how to not be here anymore. And that was very difficult for me because I was going through something hard. I literally got thrown in a legal battle at the same time. And she transitioned that Saturday. People were asking me if I wanted to see her. I said absolutely not. I wanted to see her as she was. So I'm glad I did that because some parents said they did that and it's traumatic. And I'm glad I did what was best for me. I kept her casket closed. I did get her a beautiful lavender. I got her everything that she ever wanted. She loved yellow too, so I got her a yellow dress. I did everything that I knew that my baby would have loved. The mistakes I made is not opening up about my, I cried and cried and I talked, but I really didn't express the feeling like I don't want to be here anymore. I didn't express a lot of the rage, the anger. I didn't express um the 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 outrage and the frustration I had with God. And unfortunately, because that's my moral compass, and I thought that I was like, wait, God, and I know some people don't want me to say this, but I'm gonna say it bluntly. You took my baby from me. You're a criminal. And that is hard because people don't want to hear that. Took a good God took, yes, he did. He took what belonged to him. It's like me going to a daycare. The daycare is only to borrow my child for 8 hours or 6 hours, and I'm coming back to pick her up because she belongs to me. And
Right.
that is where the healing came in. I know you want to say something, so I'm gonna let you.
No, I was gonna say that's good. That's good. I love that. You are sharing like a real truth that we don't express our feelings. And I was writing that down. I was like, do what's best for you. Sometimes people need to be told, like, do what's best for you. It's okay to do what's best for you, because in those moments, sometimes, you could have been entrapped with trying to please and accommodate everybody else and suppressing your own feelings. Meanwhile, when it's all said and done, you still have to deal with you. You still have the weight of these feelings just left and suppressed. So I'm glad that you said that, because you're saying it as a person who has experienced this journey. Not so
Mhm.
it's easy for those of us who have not experienced that kind of loss to say it, but you literally lived it and you did it, and you saying to people, and I hope people are hearing you as a mother saying this, that the loss of your child, do not hold in your emotions. That's one of the things that you regret doing, and I hope that it frees someone else who is experiencing maybe that loss or a similar loss, to know she's not speaking from a clinical speaking really real. And the fact that, yes, your moral compass being God, you like legitimately, like, I'm pissed off, like you were angry and
Yeah,
being real
yeah.
about it. I just want to read these 3 comments, because people are talking to you. Bishop says, yes, always share your emotions, because grief kept within can unalive you. It really can. People don't realize that grief held within, any feelings held within, it's just like cancerous, and it will
Mhm.
eat away. It will show up in other ways. It really will. It will come out physically. It'll come out in your behaviors. It will come out in so many other ways, but it will come out. And he also says, "You're doing good, Kena, and we are sending strength your way." That's right.
Thank you.
Listen, she got a whole nation behind her, so please know. Okay, somebody says, "Do something to my sister. I'm coming to get you." And Nay says, "Wow." She
Yeah.
is really embracing what you are saying. Wow. Bishop also says, "I pray your book helps so many parents who feel like they're alone in this or think no one understands." And while we're pausing, I want to bring up Sir Eric. You know, he's our regular squad member, just to
Hmm.
join us on the stage. And we're going to allow you to continue sharing along. Um, Welcome in, E. How you doing tonight? Can you hear us?
He's muted.
We can't hear you, Eric. We can't hear you.
Okay, there we go.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Sorry, Mike was on a different section. How are you this evening?
We're good. How are
We're
you?
good.
Um, okay. I was just listening to the stuff, and it took me back to some stuff. So I'm good. Don't mind me. I'm a little quiet, but I'm okay.
Okay, well, we're gonna
Perfect.
circle back to you and make your notes so that we can have this good discussion
Yes.
with my sis Kena Luma. She is sharing on tonight. Y'all tap in, tune in, hit that thumbs up button. Listen, talk, engage, ask questions, make comments in the comments.
Please.
She is here to help. She already told you she is a certified life coach, grief counselor, so many other things. Listen, this lady can do it all. She can take you from your taxes to your business to your tears. One stop shopping at Kena's house, okay? So she got it all. So don't worry about it. She'll let you cry and then fix up your tax. She'll make you smile later with some money, okay? Or send you out the door with your business. Don't worry about it. She's got it all. But I think that is so great, and I love that people are hearing it again from you, from having experienced this,
Mhm.
because a lot of times we don't take the advice or the positive feedback, because I don't really want to say constructive criticism, but the positive feedback or encouragement that others give us because we have not walked those shoes. But tonight you're sitting listening to someone who has lived it, and she's sharing from her well of experience, so that guess what, you don't have to go through it alone. So continue on, Kena. I want to give you back this space, the floor.
To answer that other question from you, another thing that I honestly despise that I did was I did there were some friends that I was really close to that I let them hear me just go all out loose and crazy. How and that's another thing. You need to, but I'm gonna go into why I despise what I did, because I did have some friends that I did lean into and they were great. They prayed for me. However, something that I will say, when you're grieving, watch your friends and who you hang out with. I know it's hard because your mind is foggy. That was the time I got abused the most. Now, I'm not talking about physically
Mhm.
hit or anything like that, but what I'm saying is people will take advantage of your grief. I During my grieving period, that's when people manipulated me. I'm not gonna lie. People took advantage of my financial state. People took advantage of my quality of mind. So things that I would have normally not put up with, I started putting up with. And fortunately for me, I started discussing some of the things that I was doing, and someone who is dear to me stated to me, Kena, this is not the normal you. You are really grieving. You're just giving out money like it's Skittles. You're accommodating people that don't deserve that accommodation. You're because when you're grieving, I was reaching. I'm not gonna lie, because when my daughter left this earth, I was reaching for something, for someone, for that hole. That So the hole is like, you have a little, maybe a little hole because you got a divorce, you're heartbroken, because I was divorced, and that's another story. So I was a single mom raising my daughter. I didn't feel like a single mother because my parents were like very much involved. My mother retired from the medical field just to be a grandma full time. My dad was there. So I did not ever feel like I was a single mother. But even though by societal views, I'm a single mom, but I didn't feel like I really didn't feel alone. So but just raising a child, her father was really basically estranged, and then to that was all you held on to. And I'm now we're gonna go into the love part. I wanted to get married. I did want a relationship. I wanted all those things. However, in the back of my mind, I always said if I never got married or had any more kids, I still had my daughter, and that was good enough. So when my daughter left this earth, for me, that was like I said, like the big, like the hole that was like this, like became like so humongous that I was trying to fill it up with fake bad friends. I'm just gonna call it what it is. I filled it up with maybe if I get let's pay somebody's rent or pay somebody's bills or sold millions of seeds or whatever I needed to do, or give somebody a ride or let somebody borrow my stuff or whatever it was that I needed to feel whole again.
Mhm.
I did some ridiculous things to feel the whole because I needed things to feel. Thank God I didn't go fill it up with drugs or stuff, but that is still as bad because
Yeah.
it started getting chaotic. And I started just doing some things that honestly Kina would have never ever done had she been in her right frame of mind. So as a mother and as a woman who lost a child, and as an individual, even with the loss of a parent or loss of a loved one, because I am doing grief coaching and supporting, and I'm listening to different people now. Some people have come to me and they have spoken to me about their experience. It is wild how everybody goes through the same process, especially mothers. We do whatever it takes to find that peace.
Yeah.
So when you have someone in that state of mind that don't act in their normal natural state, the first thing you need to do is be real with them, even if it hurts. Hold up, this ain't you. You would never on a good bad day actually do that. What is going on? And sometimes you got to sit with them and let them talk and let them vent, because like I said, I let people that did not deserve, I'm gonna say it,
Say
I've let
your truth.
men that didn't deserve, I let women who were my friends didn't deserve me. I let people get access to me that had no business accessing me. But when I came to myself, I'm about to preach. When
Come
I came to myself, people just started getting blocked. There were people who I thought I would be like, there were people talking to me like I was crazy. And I accepted it because I was so damaged mentally. Because, like I said, I was going through a legal battle. I lost my child at the same time. My mother couldn't be a support because she was watching my child when my daughter transitioned, and she actually witnessed the whole thing happen. So
on.
she was the one doing CPR, including the neighbor. So a lot of things were happening. So she couldn't be my support. And in her mind, she just kept saying, let's move past it, because that's the way she could heal from it.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a support like system. I had people that I could talk to, but I didn't have people that actually lost a child. And the people in the support group, they going through their trauma. So I'm like, okay, I need to reach. So I'm just letting everybody just have access to Kina. But when I started, as I got deeper into therapy and support group, and a couple of my friends came and started talking to me, they're like, girl, what's going on? And I was like, I have no idea. So on my daughter's birthday, heavenly birthday, I don't know, just something just snapped, and I just woke up. Like I don't know, it just like the cataracts came off, and I just started saying, okay, you gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go, and no, and no. And by the way, my no's are serious now. People are like, I've never. I said, I know, because guess what? You knew I was grieving, you knew I was messed up, and you're cold, and you took advantage of it. You may say what you want, but a lot of people knew a lot of the things that I did. I was not in the frame of mind, and they
Right.
still did it. So that is something that I'm gonna go. That I was saying I regret is that I didn't have anyone who I didn't open up. Like I said, it's that opening up concept. Is when I started talking to my close friend and I started telling her what I was doing, she was like, "Girl, wake up!" Like you. When I came back from, especially when I came back from Costa Rica, I really, really, when I came back from Costa Rica, which that was a well deserved, needed vacation, because after losing a child, and then you are going through legal stuff and all this other stuff that you, by the way, the legal thing I was drug into, I didn't want to be in it. And then I'm trying to figure out my front from my back, up from down. And then so I wasn't really wanting. I didn't care if I got married. I said, "Oh yes, I want to get married." Yes, I do. By the way, I do want to get married. I did want to have more children, but my in my back of my mind, I was like, if it never happened, it's okay. I still have my child. I experienced marriage. I got married at 25. For you guys who don't know, I literally finished my master's. I had a dual master's degree. Married. I owned a home. I everything so young, right?
Did it
And
all.
then I did, yeah, like in my 20s, like literally in my 20s, I was married, owned a home, done with college, like had my degrees. I was making nice money. So I literally and then I went through a divorce. Like literally by the time I was 31, I was already divorced. So I basically went from wife to mother to now grieving. So I didn't even know myself. I'm now figuring out what Kena likes and doesn't like. And the
Mm,
things that I don't like, now that
mm.
I'm able to see it from this side, baby.
Come on.
I was like, wait, why did I talk? If there's a Johnny on here, I apologize. Why am I talking to Johnny? Johnny is not what I like. So, and I think because I was a mother, and
John, if you're watching, it's not you. You
it's not you.
just
I
you.
don't even know a Johnny. But
Right, we
what I'm
don't-
trying to say is when you're a single mom, before I lost my daughter, when you're a single mom, there are things you gonna put up with because you're thinking, well, I'm a single mom who gonna want me, and that's another self-esteem issue. So I would put up with Johnny, and I realized that Johnny was toxic. So
Mm,
now as I'm going through my healing process, so now I'm in the back end of healing, and I've literally stepped out of the dating market, dating game, and getting to know myself. Johnny doesn't have it. Johnny doesn't have a chance.
but Johnny, stay on the bench. Stay in the safe space, Johnny.
Johnny don't have a chance. And also losing my daughter woke me up to something else I learned about me. Like you guys say, I am stronger than I thought because I thought that I was gonna lose my mind, but I still have my right mind, and thank God. But also, what I learned about my daughter passing on and transitioning and being with the Lord is that and I tell people that I coach this is that you have to make a decision within yourself
Mhm.
how long you're going to stop your life. Okay. I do have moments where I do lay in bed for two, like when that Texas tragedy happened, it was like giving birth again. I do have those moments. Because I remember my beautiful daughter leaving me, and then some of these parents had two, three kids, and they're all gone. They all got washed away, and some of these people had, one or two, and they were gone. So I understand, and that is another thing is I'm more empathetic towards the loss of other people's children. If you tell me your child is gone, baby, I'm in bed. I'm in bed because it's like, and I know mine is still fresh because it was 13 months ago, but it doesn't matter. I don't think that's something you can ever get over. It's you cope with it. You deal with it. You walk with it, and then you tell people this is real. Like I'm not the same person. I'm not the same Kena in 2024. This the Kena that people knew in 2024 before my daughter transitioned is a totally different Kena in 2025. And the things that Kena would have put up with like 2-3 years ago, Kena won't. Because now I'm, like I said, I'm coming to myself. I'm finding myself. I'm learning my dislikes and what I don't like. Another thing, when I had my daughter, because I was a single mom, because I wanted her to have family and siblings, didn't mind dating a guy with 5 kids because it was okay. And even if he was not doing me the best, I would put up with that. Or I even talked to a guy who had like 7 kids because I was like, well, my daughter, I may not have no other kids, but I have my child. We can be a blended
Yeah,
family.
right.
But now it's like, oh well, I mean, I am still a mom, but my daughter's with her father in heaven. Baby, you one is enough, and I want my 2, 3 more. And my standards have come. It's crazy. Your standards completely change. And I have to and also I have questions. If a man even approaches me, I literally have that conversation day one. Listen, I lost my child. There are days I'm gonna break down. How you feel about that?
Right.
And if they're telling me, ooh, that's rough, click. And it's just real because I have a real life situation that happened to me. A real trigger happened to me. I
Yeah.
lost a baby. That is irreversible. And that is all. And there are going to be times I don't cry like I used to. I may cry like I cried on Sunday. That was the last time I cried. And then I may have 2 perfect weeks. And then I'll tell you something that happened to me. One day I was driving and a fire engine just started going. And I wasn't even there when the fire engine went off. I was not even there. And I pulled over and started bawling. This was last month. I wasn't there, but it just kind of like, I don't know, it was like something altered my mind. Like, oh, I was thinking about them going to go get my baby. Hey, I gotta be with a man who understands that, hey, I may be seeing kids kick a ball because that's something my daughter used to love, and that might make me just fall apart. Are you gonna be able to handle that? So a lot of things have changed.
Yeah.
And since we're talking about love and loss, and yes, I lost my first love. Well, my first love after God, which was my baby. But even making relationship decisions makes a difference, because I can't be with someone, and this is for any woman and any man. You can't be with somebody who doesn't understand. There are some emotional things that happen to you,
Mhm.
especially a loss of a child. If they can't handle you just one day crying, or um triggered, or a photo that you want to hold on to, even if you have other children, then that you got to reconsider that, because I'm not going to change that. I physically can't change that. And
Right.
I know I've talked to other women who's lost kids like 30 years ago, and they still are crying, they're still bleeding inside.
Absolutely.
So that's something else I had to consider. um I don't know if you want to say something else before I drop that big bombshell. I have a big bombshell.
Well, yeah, we gonna pause before you get to the bombshell because we got a few comments. I also want to get Eric's input, and I want to share some notes because you have shared so much, and I think it is so good and so rich. That's right. Take yourself a breath, get yourself a glass of water, take a swig. You know, this is good. I hope y'all enjoying my sister Kena. You see what I'm saying? Y'all can see why she's my sister, right? Because she keeps it real, right? You know what I'm saying? But it is amazing. The things that we go through and that we are still standing, you know, and it brings out of you a strength that you did not even know that you had. You know, had you not gone through this, you would not even know the strength of the muscle, developing the heart muscle that it takes to go on beyond this and to deal with people and to manage family and to have to endure other crisis on the outside. Eric, I hope you had your notes because, you know, I'm coming to you in a second. Um, I got a few notes I want to get through with some comments, and then I want to get you in on the conversation before Kena drops her bombshell. Welcome in, everybody. Those of you who may be watching in the silent section, it's Thursday night with me, your girl, Lady Dawn B. I have my sister, Kena Luma. She is an author sharing her story of love and loss through the transitioning of her daughter, but she is still standing here. I'm letting her tell her story herself, her way, as we are talking about family matters, because family does matter. When something happens to one of us, it affects all of us. And so we got to learn how to stretch our capacities to be there for each other, because you never know when it might be you in these shoes, where you might need to be the support or you might need to be the one who is supported. So let me read some comments while you take a moment. Paris says, I have not lost. Oh, come on, computer. Let's not do this today. All right, hold on. Yeah, now I gotta put my glasses on. Now, see, my computer want to act up. I've not lost a child, but I've had multiple friends who have, and the emotional roller coaster is real. I felt it with my grandmother. That's right. You know, we've all lost someone. We're all going to some family event that someone that used to be there is not there. We're all going through different stages of grief, and grief is a process. It's not here today and gone tomorrow. It goes for years, you know, and it takes time. We heal through it, yes, but you never know. She also says, OMG, me too. You are so vulnerable and the devil knows it. Then she says, so glad you got delivered. Then our sister, Verdeline, says, because that's our sister, says, especially in the Haitian community, talking about your emotions is not the norm.
No.
Yeah, and, you know, and that is one thing that we have to consider, you know, culturally, how we're expected to react and respond, how we're expected to carry on, whether we're allowed to feel, not to feel, what to feel, when to feel it, and that has to be difficult and can be very crippling also, in different spaces. But again, I love what she said earlier. You have to do what's best for you. Then Paris said, listen, Johnny, if you watching, don't take it personal. But you were saying, Johnny be gone, If you can't hang it, Johnny, you got to go. I'm up now.
I'm woke.
You get it for real with both eyes. It's not eyes wide shut no more. They open. Also says you are walking stronger with God and you are comfortable within. Beautiful. She also says triggers happen to everyone. That's right. You never know what is going to trigger you. And I'm just gonna pause right there to be real transparent. Today I was having a really good day. Back on January 7th, and I will never forget the date for my entire life. I have two best friends that I talk to pretty much like every day, all the time. And one of them passed suddenly on January 7th. And I just spoke to her the day before. And I had felt like something left my body, and it's only been 6 months now. And my son brought a package in, and I keep in touch with my mom and her sister regularly. I make sure I check in on them, make sure, we keep it together. But when you're talking about triggers happening, my son was going out to the store and he brought in something. He brought in a package, and it was a package from my best friend's sister. And the minute I saw the name, I was like, oh, okay, cool. What did I get? What did I order? And talking about triggers. And it was really hard. I'm still trying to accept and let it resonate. Sometimes when I'm driving home, because that's when I always call like on my way home and on Tuesdays, and we talk every day, I have to force myself not to automatically call her. But today, and I've been good, I hadn't cried in a while. But the minute I looked at the package and I saw her sister's name, I just got like my nerves just started shaking in my body. And I was just like, I'm not ready. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't want to, and I haven't brought myself to open it yet, but it triggered me and I just started crying. And it felt like the very first day, when I found out that she passed. And I was like, God, not today. I can't do this today. You know what I'm saying? It was a trigger that I wasn't expecting, because this loss knocked the wind out of me, and I had to catch my breath. Probably on like March, I started catching my breath. And when you're talking about being honest about your emotions and don't hold them in, I am strong, I think, for everybody. But this was the one time when someone asked me how I was doing. I couldn't even fake it. And I was telling people straight out the back, I am not all right. I am not okay. Just so everyone knows, I am not okay. Okay, so for me to tell you I'm not okay really means like there's something like, okay, what do we do? So when we talk about triggers happening, you don't know. And it will be really random. And it could be something that you don't even expect, and it just caught me off guard today. So it is very important that we do not hold our emotions in and that we do what's best for us. So, that is so key. So I get it with the fire truck, because your mind went to, like you said, you could just imagine, and you don't even know how it's going to, make you feel. Bishop Claiborne says, Coach Claiborne says, grief is an emotional roller coaster. You have people around you that can and allow you to go through it. And I want to say, even pause here to say, let people grieve how they need to grieve. Let's not box a person into what we would do or what we think someone should do. Give them grace and space to feel what they feel. They are not you. They are not us. We all do differently. There's no right or wrong way. And I find when people box us in when we're in that grieving state, is because they don't have the capacity or the know-how to manage or handle what we're going through. So they don't want us to go through it. because they want to be able to manage it, and it's not your place to manage. Sometimes just be quiet and just put it that way, you know. Bishop Clement says, so many will never know the numbing that the loss of a child brings. I know this loss all too well. I lost my first child. Wow, you know, yeah, Bishop, you know, you always welcome to come up and share, because sometimes, you know, we don't know if it's, you know, if men grieve differently than women do at the loss of a child. Sometimes I know of a couple who lost their child and ended up getting divorced afterwards because something as serious as this that should have brought them together actually tore them apart because they were grieving differently and they didn't know how to they didn't know how to accept the other one's process, you know. And it's understandable, and I think it could have been changed, but there's so much damage was happening, you know, and that blaming game that starts happening. And I'm sure, you know, and in saying that, I also pause to say, like you said, how your mom handled it because she was there, she was giving her CPR, you know, and how she was navigating that space. She wanted to get through it, you know, whereas you needed to embrace it in a different way. So we have to give each other space and just grace to deal, because we're all going through it. We cannot have, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna put it this way. Y'all know me, I'm gonna make it plain. We can't have a pissing contest over pain.
No.
You know, we can't, because we all are hurting in our own way. You know, and it's not, it cannot be the case of the squeaky wheel gets the oil. It's not, because we all squeaking at this point. You know, we have to pull ourselves together. Bishop says, yes, Lady Dawn, I remember you going through that. Listen,
yeah,
that, and Kena was there. Like, if y'all wasn't praying for me, I'm not sure
what would it be.
I really don't, because I, again, am not one who I will handle stuff, but you know, the loss in January it took my breath. You know, I just, and I felt very, I felt lost. I did, you know, and I still feel like a little every now and then, because that's my sister, you know, it's my, you know, like piece of you. And it's like, how do you get that back? So I totally understand. Bishop says, can we normalize it's okay to not be okay? We need to normalize it's okay to not be okay. Ken, I think we're going to have to collaborate and write that book. It's okay to not be okay. I think we're going to.
Yeah, we're going to write it. Let's get together.
So, right. And we're going to do a podcast about it. How about that?
We will.
For real.
No, I'm serious. After this, we'll discuss it. That book will be done within a few weeks.
Listen, don't play with it, y'all. Be ready, because Lady Dawn and Lady Ken, we on the move now. Stop playing. And y'all better not. If I see it out there, I promise you, I'm going to find y'all. I'm going to scratch your ankle. Okay.
That's why I'm not that's why I'm not talking about the book that I'm writing right now.
Don't do it.
I'm not putting the title out right now because I'm writing a book actually about my journey. Like and I'm not gonna put I almost said the title.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Hold on, let me get through these comments. Don't do it.
I'm not gonna put the name out there at all.
I want you to tell. Alicia says, amen. There's no time limit on grieving. That's right. Alicia, and I remember, you know, when at the loss of her mom, you know, like, these are vital relationships that we are having. How do people expect you to get over it? First of all, you don't get over it.
You don't.
You through it. If you can get over it, I question the love in the relationship. But you got to get through it. And that takes time. My father's been gone. My son is 23. That passed when he was 5. But 17, 18 years just made. And when I tell people, when my father was gone from me for those 30 to 40 years that he was with me, but he's been gone from me just as long as he was with me, then then you might, maybe, it's possible. Maybe like a 2% chance you can start talking to me about me grieving too long. But there is no time limit. It's because of the relationship. Welcome in, Rod. Hello, everyone. Say hi to Mr. Brown. Hello, my dear. How are you? Thank you for joining us, love. He says, definitely no time limit. When people matter to you, their presence makes a difference, and their absence can make an even greater difference, especially when you know it's a permanent absence. And then I say, you know, we have to find a new normal, you know, is what happens, because we can't go that. Paris, my mom's voice. I hold on to some of her voicemails now. I hear you, Paris. Listen, listen. I have an answering machine that I still hold on to purposely. Haven't used that thing probably since 1842. You know, but I hold on to it because my father used to leave me every year for my birthday. My birthday is like 2 days after my uncle's birthday. So for 3 days, my father would be calling me and my uncle on the wrong day, wishing each other happy birthday. So he's either too early or too late. So you get 4 days of him saying happy birthday to you, knowing that one of these days he's right. Is one of them is, and I held on to that still to this day. It may not even work anymore. I don't know, but I still have it because hearing his voice. I haven't brought myself to plug it in and listen to it because I don't think I'm ready for that. But you will find yourself doing those things. Alicia says support also doesn't mean I must understand your pain. Good point. There, being there, praying and loving the person grieving is more important. That is absolutely true. Hey, Landon, welcome in. Good to see you. Landon says, thanks for this show. You are welcome, Landon. Thank you for joining us. You know how we do here on Thursday nights. We are talking about love and loss with my sister, Kena Luma. She's the author. She wrote this amazing book about her daughter's life, and the legacy that she is leaving behind and to carry on. I just want to read a couple of things that I wrote down, and then I want Eric to jump in and share, and then we're gonna hop back to Kena because she is gonna drop a bombshell. So I want to make sure she has enough time to catch her whole breath in this. But y'all keep commenting, y'all hit that thumbs up button. We so appreciate you. Let's see. It says Andre 3000, me and my mom's song. Please check this one out. When lost parents. I sure will. I will check it out. I don't know that me and my dad had a song, but I will definitely check that out. I think I know what you're talking about. I used to sing to him sometimes because he couldn't sing, but I can. But he would like for me to sing church songs, so I would. One of the things that Kena mentioned earlier was about the support system, and wishing that she had a different support system or having that support system that she needed because of the people who came and took advantage during that time of her not being herself. And that is something that when you're grieving, you have to pay attention to. Like you said, who are your friends that are around you? Which to me says, check your circle beforehand. Do a regular check because my circle has layers. Everybody ain't in my inner circle. Some people you're in a circle, but you're not in the inner circle. You might be in one of the outer rings, but my inner circle is really, really very small. And you said that you were looking, you found yourself doing things that you normally would not do, supporting people, giving to people, being there for people that you normally would not to the extent that you did after the loss of your daughter. And that speaks to a lot of us, especially us women. I think we displace that, our nurturing need, our need to nurture. We look for substitutes to put that in someplace else, especially when it comes to our children, because we're natural nurturers because we carry. And so part of our fulfillment for men, if you don't understand why women are with, part of our fulfillment and our need to feel fulfilled comes from us nurturing others. Like, loose my hands to do what I do, allow me to. And so not having your daughter anymore to pour into, right, it opened up the door for you to find other means that you may not, we would not normally be aware of. But I'm sure in some way it was, like you said, you were looking to fill that hole, that void, that mothering space that you no longer had a vessel to pour into. So we do have to be really conscious. And you talked about, the friends who can be real and be honest with us. Like when you see me acting afar off, please don't leave me out there. Like if you my friend, come get me, bro.
Right.
Don't give me sense. Don't.
My one friend who's been friends with me for like, we were friends for like what, 18 years. She just started asking me questions like, Kena.
Right, like
I just noticed you not yourself, and I was like, You're right. Like,
Yeah,
so
you-
it was bad.
but you need that. We need that because you don't know. You don't know how you're going to show up, which version of you is showing up in grief
Hmm.
because you've never met that version of you before.
No.
So you don't even know. They're like, oh snap, I'm tripping. And like, real quick story, when my dad died, my sister started like everything. My sister started talking really loud, like everything she said, like she was yelling. Like from the moment we found out he passed, she was yelling at the top of her lungs. And no matter what you took, I was like, Des, but you, I was like, sweet, I was like, shh, you yelling. They were like, what's wrong with just this? I was like, it's the way grief is coming out. I was like, and I had to tell her one day, I said, Des, you're yelling. And I would just talk to her real calm, like, sis, you're yelling. She'd be like, am I yelling? I'm like, yeah, I need you to bring it. But it was the way it was exiting her body because, like you said, she was holding it in. It'll come out in all kind of ways. So yeah, we need that person that's gonna snap us out of it. And like you said, you have an awakening. Who's going to help us come to this place of awakening. Um, and you said even in the bounce back, like how long are you going to stop your life? People cannot determine that for you. You know, and you get to a place where you have to start living again because you have people wonder how you can move on. It's like because I have nothing else to lose now. I've lost all the things that were so very important, or that keep peace for me. I've lost that. So what else do I have to lose? So yeah, you're gonna get a different version of me showing up. Let me see if there's anything else in the chat before we get Eric in this conversation, and then Kena, I'm gonna turn it back to you. Let's see. Oh, Paris says grief is spiritual. It is. It's in your spirit. And I'm going to before the show ends, we're gonna talk about some of the points of grief so that people can be aware. And it's always good for us to remember because again we go through a process over a lifetime, and sometimes we forget, so that's important. So come on, you've been listening for a while. Let's hear from the male perspective and share with us what your thoughts. Come on, give us some nuggets on tonight.
Um, First, Tina, I want to commend you because yes, this losing a child is a hard pill to swallow. Um, I didn't lose a child, but I've watched a child die in my arms because I used to work school safety, and the young man got hit by a truck doing dismissal, and I had the unfortunate task of sitting there with him until the ambulance came and everything, and just trying to keep people at bay, and watching this young man just like basically take his last breath. And we're talking, I think he was 10. I'm sorry, and and it was a hard situation because they had to have grief counselors come in and everything, and I still struggle with it till this day. And this was back in 2004. I still struggle with it till this day because I have to constantly pass by. I constantly pass by where the young man got struck down, and they actually named the street after him and everything. So, in about 2 weeks, I got to go over that way anyway because we have Old Timers Day, and it's on that block, so I got to be there for that. Um, so yes, it's hard. I deal with that, and I deal with some other struggles. I lost. It's kind of strange because it was back to back. Dawn knows I lost my brother-in-law in 2019. Then 6 months later, my mom passed away, and in April, and then um, what was it? September, like 4 months. Yeah, yeah, my mom
Yeah,
passed away in April. Then in September, my aunt passed away, and
her
then
sister.
yeah, it was like back to back stuff. And then the following year, my sister passed away. So it's like a never ending process and so forth. So yes, I'm still grieving over stuff. I tried, but I have to come to work and deal with it on a day to day basis and everything. You know you got to put your good face on, and you got to come in and so forth. But yes, the struggle is real. and everything. And I see a therapist about it. I'm going to continue to see a therapist about it because I do not want to lose my mind over this and everything. You know, I got two kids. My son is 23. My daughter is 28. My grandson is 8, and so forth. So, you know, I think about them and I think about me having to keep pushing for them and everything because, you know, some people can't take it and want to just end their life. I'm not one of those people. You know what I'm saying? I'm a young man. Well, I'm a young man. I'm a man brought up.
You're a young man.
Yeah, I'm a young man. I'm a
Take it
57
back.
year old young man
You know, young man,
brought up loving,
that's
loving.
Black Santa right there.
Yeah, you know, loving the Lord. So, and that's not a principle that we in my family live by. Is like ending. You know, you don't want to live no more. You don't want to. You don't end it by committing suicide and stuff like that. We don't go by that. Plus, it's somewhere in the Bible. So,
Mhm.
I don't remember the exact scripture,
That's
but
okay. We get your point.
yeah. So, um, I do commend you on that, and you keep pushing. You keep pushing, and the right man will come your way. That's going to accept you and accept what you're dealing with, and he's actually going to be your helpmate to help you transition to another level. Um, to to be a little at ease with with stuff. You're never ever gonna forget your child. That's a definite. You're never gonna forget your child, and you're not gonna stop loving your child and all. But you're gonna have to leave a space open for somebody to come and love you and all. And that's basically it.
No, that's good.
That's
That's
good.
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here fighting back tears
Me
because
too. I'm like, my tears came
yeah,
out. I was like, I had to fan my face because I just,
yeah,
whenever
Listen,
I hear children, it just touches right there. It just touches the heart so bad. I can't.
yeah,
listen.
Oh
yeah,
Yeah,
God.
well, you ain't got to fan nothing. You can let the tears cry here on the Bravo Shilling Network. And on Thursday nights, we do it all here. We do tomfoolery, we do emotion, we do seriousness, we do laughter, we do all of those things, and it's okay, because this is helpful to so many people because a lot of us don't pause to actually embrace what we're feeling. And again, it's okay to have these emotions and responses and reactions. We should. It's a part of our humanity, and it's a part of the divine part of us, of our divinity, our spiritual side. And we're allowed. You're allowed to be human, and you embracing someone else's loss, someone else's feeling also helps to heal you as you process your own journey, because believe it, it's the piece. It's not trauma bonding. I don't want to say that,
Hmm.
but it's knowing that I'm not going through this alone. I'm not the only one feeling this way, regardless as to how I got here. Everybody's story of love and loss is different. But guess what? My heart aches, your heart aches, Eric's heart aches, Alicia's heart aches, Paris's heart aches, Roderick's heart aches, Inae's heart ache. Everybody watching. We've all gone through some type of grief at some point in some time in our lives. And that's why these moments and these type of books that you're writing are so important, because somebody needs to hear it. Somebody needs to see how you survive it. Somebody needs to know that they can too get through it. Paris says it is connection, right? If we don't have connection, we don't have anything.
Hmm.
If we
Yep.
don't have, no man is an island. I need connection. She said we are
Hmm.
spirit first. That's right. And while we're at this pause, because I want to pass it on to Kena to share some more. We got a little more time. But we talk about 5 stages of grief that maybe people are not always aware of. And I just want to bring them to light so that we are mindful that it is a process, people. It is not a speed race. It's not a sprint. It's a slow run that we go through, and know that you're going to go through these stages at different levels. One is denial, which is a temporary response to help process the loss. Sometimes we need a minute to get it. Like I said, my best friend passed in January 7th. It is now July 24th. And I still am trying to come to terms with the fact, like, yo, this really happened. Like, she's really not here. Like I'll go to send a meme or something, and I'm like, oh, snap, I can't, because I find myself pushing a button and never hitting send. I have so many text messages that are just sitting under her number that I just, it's the denial, because you have to process the loss. Then there's numbness, a natural reaction that gives time to explore changes at one's own pace. We do go numb because I can't handle all of these feelings at the same time. And I'm sure Kena had all your senses kicked in at the same time. You would have lost it. You would have lost your mind, because we need that time to process, like, what has happened, like, let it be real. And you spoke earlier about the anger, a reaction to having activities taken away or being forced, the anger that we experience because we're reacting to what has happened. And there's nothing that we can do about it. There's a bargaining part of grieving. There's a depression part to grieving that a lot of people do, feelings of sadness and not knowing when this will end. Depression is a real thing. And it is a valid thing that happens, especially in loss. And that's another reason why we have to stop pushing people to get through it at our pace, instead of acknowledging the pace that the person who is grieving is at. And then acceptance. And this is one of the key parts of grieving that gets us to the healing space, is recognizing the situation and figuring out how to move forward. I have to accept that this is where we are, that this is what has happened. It is a hard pill to swallow, but this is where we can start to prepare for a new normal. Things will never be the same again, but that doesn't mean that they have to be the same. I can honor the life that I lived before with this person, and now that they're not here, and this is even helping me, I have to accept the fact that I will never be able to hear her pick up again or see him here or there, and I have to accept that, but I can develop a new normal, which is a new space. So these are just some of the things that we need to consider as we're going through this love and loss process. Eric, you said earlier that, we have to put on, we have to get up every day and we got to keep going and we have to put on our good face. But, I just want to put this question out there into the world and y'all think about it. You don't have to really respond. And I'm like, but do we really have to? Do we really have to put on the good face? Because
I do.
No.
I do because I'm just saying. I'm saying I do because the environment I work in, the hospital. I can't walk around here people out all day long.
I get it's more of a rhetorical question. I
know.
But I'm saying a lot of us don't get through what we go through because we're so accustomed to putting on the good face. No, I can't go to work in tears, but there have been times when I've been at my desk that, January was a rough month. Yeah. When I went back to work, yep, I'm sitting there, I'm answering the phone, I'm answering emails, and the tears are streaming down my face. Yep. I had to put a customer on hold, put my head down on the desk, and just cry it out and ask them to hold on and swallow some water and regroup. And not because I don't have it. I'm not okay. There has to be a space where we can I'm not okay. I don't want to put on a good face anymore. Because again, I'm pretending for people, but I get it because at the same time, I got to get up from here as well, and we have to move on. So, we just have to allow ourselves that space of grace to acknowledge what we're feeling, And Kina, you mentioned something earlier about, relationship decisions when it comes to, you know, um, this type of situation and matter. Let me read these two comments, and then, I'm gonna let you have it so you can. We gave you had a big enough break now. She could come back for the next round. Landon says at NA, thank you. A young rapper sadly took his own life on the loss of his late child's 1 year celebration of life. Used to work in the ER. Sheesh, one has to be grounded. I can imagine, and when you think about, there's so many things that all of us are going through or in touch with that we don't talk about. And how many of us together here just on tonight are holding on to and walking through some type of grief? This type of conversations are necessary because this is where we gain strength from one another. Bishop says it's okay to put on your game face because of what you do, as long as you can take it off in a safe place. Yes, I agree with that, and that's good instruction. Right. I understand we all have to do what we have to do. But again, I think the key also to that is making sure that you take it off in a safe place and not just continue to walk around with it on all day. And Landon says used to work in the ER. So come on, Kina. The mic is back in your hands now.
Okay, so before I drop the bombshell, I wanted to respond to something you said about the 5 stages of grief. I have an alternative model. Also, I am like I said, I am a certified life coach, but I now specialize in grief coaching and support. And on my website, if you go to the Purple Book Club, that's where I'm selling the books. And also I am giving services. I have different services. Don, I am actually going to do this for you for free since you invited this to me. I typically would not. I do want to set up a legacy letter time with you. It'll be for 30 minutes. Please come back and tell everybody how that session. We'll get on a Zoom, and I want you to write a letter to your friend. That is something that I teach people to do because I have written a letter to my best friend who passed away a day before my daughter was born in 2020 of COVID. So I do want to set up a session for you. Also, Eric, if Don, I am giving permission for her to give you my personal cell. I would like for you to do that with me too. I will do it I typically will not do it for free, but I want to do that for you guys. I'll put you guys on my calendar. Because of that experience, it is very therapeutic. I'm going to talk to you about the 7 stages of grief. This is an alternative model. The first one is
Mhm.
denial and shock. Yeah, no, 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 no. Purplebookclub.com, not the purple book club. There's no the in the beginning.
Oh, just
Um, yeah, purplebookclub.com. So I have an alternative model that I go through because this is what I realized how this was for me and a lot of individuals that are grieving. So the first one is denial and shock because, like I said, when I first found out, I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. I was crying, but I was desensitized completely. Like I said, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a licensed clinician. I'm going based on experience. That's why I am a great grief coach and I'm great at what I do. And people love my process because if you've never sat in the shoes, you can have a license. I'm not taking away from somebody who went to school unless you've literally lost a child or lost somebody that attached to you. It's really hard to really help some, like, you can give them cues. Like I said, my therapist is amazing. Like, she's given me a lot of insight. um so the first one is denial and shock. The second one is pain and guilt. I felt guilty, like, wow, if I had been there, maybe if I was watching her, maybe, but no, no, that's absolutely not it. But you do have pain and guilt. Depression, absolutely. Absolutely. You go through this depression phase. Some days I'm like, right now, I'm on top of the world. Tomorrow may be a different day. Tomorrow might be like, and I'm glad I'm a business owner, so I could pull that off and close down shop and be like, we're closing business today. So and then there's this thing called the upward turn. Basically it's like, okay, this happened. What am I gonna do? Am I gonna lay in bed? Am I gonna just pass out and fall? Which is fine, but you're gonna make a turn. We gotta do something. We gotta figure out some of the things that we're gonna do to go in that upward direction, because we can't, if we continue to go downfill, you're going to be like me, who wants to unalive themselves, and we don't want that. Or you're going to be in that dark phase, and you can't stay like that. So you have to find a way to say, okay, let's turn that wheel around, you know, that dance. Like, how we gonna go back uphill? And then like I said, I'm just going really quick about it, and I, if you ever invite me back, I can talk to you more about it, how I work
Coming
this
back.
out and how the process
Coming
goes.
back.
And then reconstruction and working through it. That's where I'm at. Working, I'm still working through this. This is a daily walk. Like, it's a day-to-day activity. Daily. Daily. And how are you gonna work through this? Because I'm sorry. I don't care if you lost your mama, your daddy, your cousin, your friend. You have to find your coping mechanism. Writing is my coping mechanism. Talking to people about their, I don't have to always talk about my child. We can talk about your friend, we could talk about your child, we could talk about your mom. It ain't, but it makes it easier for me to understand. I'm a safe place because I've been there. I've had, like I said, even though I've had people come to my house or call me and let me cry, but they can never understand me. Everybody agrees, like you said, differently. And then lastly, hope and acceptance. There is, if like you, we talked about the moral, your moral compass. Baby, I gave my life. I mean, I was living for Jesus already, but I full blown gave my life to Jesus because I'm gonna be with my daughter. Y'all don't even know. I'm like, God, I am not missing out. I want to see my baby again. I want to be on the streets of gold. I want to be in my mansion. Like, listen, my, I know my baby over there, like, playing with her cars and doing her thing. So I want to be there with her, right? So it's hope and acceptance, and having hope that this is not the end of it. And God doesn't make any mistakes. God is not making, and I know people may say, "Oh, well, he took how." That's the thing. He is that good. My daughter, I, even though I miss her with all my heart every day, but let me tell you what's beautiful. She was only 4. She never got tainted by this world. She never got anything. Like, I'm in my 30s and I'm thinking about all the traumatic stuff I went through, especially in your teenage years. I was getting picked on, and then there was a time in my life where I was very heavy. I was 300 pounds, and my life was just really, really, I may not look like it. You gotta be like, what? No, where? I was. I was big. So um and I went through some traumas, kids picking on me, me going through the trauma of high school, my first heartbreak, and all those things. And I'm like, God, you spared my child from all of those things. So, oh, thank you so much, Miss Sheila. You did everything. Yep, that is. So, and I teach people that. And in my coaching sessions, what I also do is, like I said, I'm going to talk about the writing. One of the beautiful things, because I'm a writer, I actually write. Like, I love to write. Actually, on my desk, I have like a journal. This one's like almost, so I have to go get me a new one. But writing, something I learned. This is something I taught myself. Write a letter to that person, and I can teach you methods. There's not a special way to write it. You don't have to be a writer, but we can talk through your emotions and what you want to say. I actually wrote a letter. There was, I'm not gonna go into details, but I wrote a letter cussing out my child, saying, how dare you do this
Mhm.
to me? And then I took it and tore it up and just put it in the trash. And I want to teach you guys, if you guys want to, like I said, I'm giving you full blown permission to give Eric my number. And I do want to do it with you, Lady Dawn. We're gonna sit down for 30 minutes, and I'm gonna teach you how to do a legacy letter and what you can and should write. There is no restrictions in this letter. This is a letter between you, your friend, and I know they're not physically here, but in spirit they're here. And you write whatever you want. You could type it on your computer, and I help you construct that letter and how you should start it. Whether it be dear, and we can cry together, and I will cry with you because I'm a crier, so I'll cry, and we are gonna construct a beautiful legacy letter for you and your friend. And if you want to share, what's most people do share it with me, the few clients do share it with me, and you can share with me, and we can do whatever you want. You could be, and I can say, what do you want to do with that letter? Some people say, I want to, like, you could even, I know this is a weird thing, you can pretend you're mailing it. Yes, somebody actually did that. I thought it was cute. They wrote it, they put it in an envelope, put it into the address, like they never mailed it out, of course, because they knew, but it helped them feel like okay. And then I said, what are you gonna do with it? I don't know, I'm just gonna leave it there, and then whatever, if I want to throw it away or burn it up. But it gave them that release that okay, I got what I wanted to say out of my mind. So we can, I do want to show you that, and then you can come back and review and tell me how that session went. And I know you're gonna love it. But I allow people to do that. I allow people to express themselves, and then I teach them methods to do it. And some people do it as a day-to-day basis, just to be like, okay, today I want to write you a letter. And writing is therapeutic. I didn't realize how therapeutic it was until I started really doing it more. So that is the legacy writing sessions that I do. It doesn't necessarily have to be a therapy set. It's literally me teaching you how to write. Like you, and also I can write the letter for you. I've had actually people just say, hey, I'm gonna tell you how I feel, and you can write it how you want. And I write it how I want. I write it how the Holy Spirit leads me, and then I send it to them in an email. And I'm telling you, people be bawling like, oh my God, you captured exactly what I was trying to say, and that is exactly what I wanted to say, and you said it. And I do ask people. Some people say I need that profanity in there, and I'll put the. I mean, even though I don't curse, but I put the profanity in there for them, and I send it to
Yes.
them, and they're happy because that's how they want that. If they don't want to do it, because not every, you don't have to be a writer, because I write, I'm a writer, so I'll do it. And some people want to do it themselves, and I am, however you want that letter to be written to that loved one. And some people, if they're really good, we can do three in that 30 minutes. Some people need me for an hour, so we can do it for an hour. So whatever you need to do to be successful in getting your emotions out, write it out. And it's good to write it out because you can ball it up and nobody has to know what you said, or you can put it in an envelope like you're going to mail it to them. Some
Right.
people take a card. I literally take a regular card. It could be a blank card like this, and you just write a, if it's their birthday and you want to do something for their birthday, you could write a letter saying happy birthday, John. Yeah, I guess John is getting picked out. John and Johnny.
Hey,
Dear
Johnny.
John, dear John, I miss you. Happy birthday. And I can't stand you right now because you in heaven having a good old time, and I'm down here suffering on this earth paying bills. Can you send me some money? Can you tell God to, you know what I mean? So you could, whatever you need to do, you could even do it in the car. But that is what I do in my legacy sessions. I just wanted to share that with you. So I want you guys to do that with me and tell me what you think. I really want an honest review. And if you didn't like it, it didn't work for you, it made you feel worse. I want to know that too. But most people, 99% of everybody.
Oh, we gonna tell
Yep.
you the truth. You already know. I'm gonna tell you the truth. You already-
Y'all ready for the bombshell? Or you want to give me some feedback about what I said?
No, I love what you said. Let me read some comments. We're gonna get you to the bombshell. My mama says, awesome, awesome, awesome program. Waiting for part two, and there will be a part two. I promise y'all. Because then I gotta come back and tell y'all how the legacy session with us. You know what I'm saying? Just what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Linda says Ryan Coogler even expressed a little of that pain through his most recent project. All right, cool. That's what.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all go check it out. Paris says, I worked in the ER too. What an experience. And now in oncology, it is my current ministry. Landon was saying he was in the ER. So, yeah, we all are in these spaces that, require us, or where we experience these life encounters that cause us to be in a place of love
Mm-hmm.
and grief. And we were noting the points that Kena was making: denial, shock, pain and guilt, depression, upward turn, reconstruction, hope, and acceptance. And again, this is how you can order her book and other services. You can go to her website at purplebookclub.com. We're going to post it up again in a little bit. Eric, was there something you wanted to say before I let Kena give her bombshell?
Um, no, no. She let her have a bombshell moment.
Come on with the bomb. It's time for the bombshell. Time for things to blow up. Come on now.
Okay. So when my daughter transitioned, I was talking to somebody. I had just started talking to this person. And maybe a couple of 2 or 3 weeks, I don't know, maybe about a month, something like that. I don't remember. And if he's watching, oh well.
Counting on you now, sir.
You and I want to hear people's input. I think people's mind gonna be blown. So I had calls
Because they're
him and
talking
asks
about
him.
relationship decisions in these marriages. Okay.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was in my right frame of mind right there. Right
This,
there, I was in my right frame of mind.
this is right on point because it's at 8:30. In case you didn't know, no matter what we're talking about, our conversations always go left. So it's like after dark time now. So we can get into the relationship decision side of this. So come on with the love and the loss. Come on.
Oh Lord. So, and we may have to come back for part two because I got to tell you how this ends. But I'll just start here because I see it's eight. I didn't even realize it was 8:49. This conversation is so great. So I
Oh,
was
you good?
talking to this guy. His name, I will not release his name, poor brother. And very nice, just very nice guy. But I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I'm thinking about this now. I knew I was gonna laugh about this a year later.
It's the butt.
So this my child like literally had just left this planet. And he was talking, he asked me for my ring size, like maybe about 3 days after my daughter passed.
Wow. Wow.
And then, like maybe about 2 days after that, I'm getting ready because her funeral was literally she passed on Saturday. I had the funeral that Friday. Like it was fast. I could not um I needed to get through that process. And he proposed.
Wow.
Straight proposed. I was like, bruh, are you insane? I literally am trying to figure out I want to say nice words, front from my back. Like, I don't know where up or down is. And you're asking me for marriage? He was like, well, life is so short. And I'm like, dude, we'll reconvene. Like, I just, wrong move.
What say you, chat? What say you?
Was life
Was I
was
wrong? Should
life
I take in the
so
ring?
short
Should I
for him?
gotten married? Did I miss my opportunity? Was I wrong? Should I have just taken that ring and just say yes, baby, yes? He was ready to do that thing. Like I'm talking about go to the courthouse and everything. He was ready. I was like,
Well, I got a question. Where's he from?
from here.
Born and raised?
Yes.
Hmm.
He didn't need no papers.
No. Oh, okay.
He was legit. He was American. He
Oh,
was
okay.
Afro American.
Okay.
Well, Landon Price says sucker wow. Anyone else care to chime in? What say you, chat? Come on, Bravo Nation. Kena's asking, did she miss her opportunity? Should she have taken the ring? Should she have said yes? Or was she right in denying him in the moment, considering the fact that her daughter had just passed? What say you, chat? Love to hear your comments, your thoughts and
I
opinions.
gotta fan myself because I'm starting to cry this one
That's
out.
like that. That's like hmm.
Damn, did he pick the wrong time?
Yeah, I would say really bad timing. Okay, and we have another comment. All right, listen. Rod says, I'm speechless. You know what, love? I am too. Let's pause. Let's have a moment of silence for Mr. Sucker Wow. Sir, bad timing. Whew, yeah, that's an exhale. It's like, I mean, okay, so
Ugh.
on one hand, I say maybe it was coming from a good place. Considering, I mean, I don't know what that just hear me out. I'm just saying.
No, say what you guys say.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to respond to that. Go ahead.
I mean, maybe. I'm not saying that I don't know. The intention. In figuring, the thing is that life is short. Life is too short. Maybe the shock of the experience that just happened to you may have awakened something in him to say, I have to embrace this young lady in now because I don't want nothing else to be lost. I don't know. I mean, I could be reaching, but I'm sure someone's mind operates that way. I mean, that just one thought, possibly. I would think if marriage never can, I'm trying, y'all.
Go ahead, try away.
If marriage wasn't a discussion that came up before that, if it was just really random,
They only knew each other for 3 days.
honestly, I feel like yeah, okay, but you could know someone and be dating and talking, but if we never discussed marriage before this, if it wasn't like a natural progression in our relationship, at this point, if your trigger to propose is due to the loss of my child, then for me, I'm like, I don't want that. Like, what we doing? I mean, I think it was bad timing all around. But let's see. The chat is chatting, so let's see what else they say while I think of something else. I don't know. Let me put my glasses back on. See, I have to put my glasses back on. All right. Alicia says you did the right thing. No, ma'am. No, thank you. No ham. No spam.
Wow.
You heard it here. You heard it here. So far, we are 3 for heck no, you did the right thing, and 0 for yeah, girl, you missed your opportunity. So let's see what else. And now Eric is snacking. All right. Lindsay, did he help you ease? Did he help with easing the grief process? Kena's shaking her head no.
So Kena, you only knew the guy for 3 days, right?
No.
I knew him for like we were talking for like a month, but we knew each other before, but we were talking like he wanted to like get to know me, and I can't tell y'all why he did that, child.
Well, it's the comments for me. I want to reread them because this is just. I mean, I'm loving it. I'm just gonna start. Landon said, "Sucker, wow." That might be my favorite. It might be my favorite. We need to put that on a T-shirt now. Sucker, wow.
I know. I was thinking about that. You read my mind.
This is why we here, sis. Rod says, "I am speechless." We have a moment of silence. Alicia says, you did the right thing. No, ma'am. No, thank you. And no ham, no spam. And Landon's question, did he help with ease? Did he help with easing the grieving process? And Kena said, no, not at all. Well, there's that. And that is definitely a bombshell. Because when you talk about those relationship decisions, I mean, again, I feel like if marriage was a conversation that was being had before, or if it was brought up, even just in like, light conversation.
It was, but still.
But I mean, that was not the moment. Like,
had he done it maybe the day before she left this earth, then I could say, okay, like we didn't know, but it's kind of like, bro, I'm trying to plan a whole funeral. Like, what? Like,
right. I mean, or is he okay after experiencing that or knowing that now? It's like, okay, wait until after, like, let the services get through that, but that push to all of a sudden want to, because you're feeling like life is too short. I mean, which on one hand, life is too short. We do need to take advantages of the opportunities that we're given to love one another, to connect and to bond with one another. I mean, in general, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying his timing is completely off, but in thinking of it from different perspectives, sometimes things like this scare people. It's that wake up call, fight or flight kind of reaction that people can have to it. I don't want my life to go by and I not, have been married or locked in or be able to love her or him. And I don't think you should ever panic your way into a marriage or into a commitment, but I do think that we need to take full advantage of the opportunities that we have with one another to build relationships and connection. So he should have come at you in a different way. And just, I think that moment should have been to him expressing to you, it's moments like these that maybe I would love to be here for you, as that shoulder you lean on, as a husband would cover. I feel like I want to cover you as a husband would. I want to be that supports you as a husband would. But all straight out, will you marry me? Like, that's a lot. Because I think
Oh
I'd have
yeah.
been like, Ninja, what are you saying? You
He
know,
said, "Let's go to the courthouse," and all. He was ready to go. Like I'm talking about, he was ready to just do. I was
oh,
like, "Bro,
he,
we doing
he'd have caught all my grief. He would have been the victim of all of my grief. He'd have caught it. You're like, you
Dude,
set yourself up for that one.
dude.
Oh,
Listen,
part two before Eric goes.
Oh,
I
there's a part
have
two.
to say this. This is one of those times where it was actually I knew I made the right decision because he had 4 children.
okay,
So not downing anybody for having children, but he had 4 living children. I now have 0. And this is where, looking back, I'm glad my mental state was so jacked up that I said no and said, "You're a clown and you got to go."
okay,
And I basically, um, looking back now, I don't think I would be happy because I don't have any children and he has all 4 of his, and he is very involved in his children's life. And where I am now, because like I said, I have now come to myself, and I said it earlier, judge me if y'all want to. 1 is what I will tolerate. 2 maybe, but 1, and then because I have none. So I guess I'm the upper hand right now. So
yeah, just a
I
preference.
know
And
that's cold, but it is what it is.
But it's not cold if that's your truth, and that's the thing. You're being real about where you're at, and it doesn't mean everybody does. This is the thing. We don't have to like where a person is at, but we have to respect it. We often don't like it because it takes us off of that list of being an option. And that's the problem, is that because you feel this way, but you got to stick to your standards. So I wouldn't apologize for it either. How we deliver it is one thing,
Right.
but my standard is my standard, and this is where I'm at right now. And if a man with 4 kids could not understand that, considering what you just experienced, I would have said no also, because that tells me a lot about your character and your integrity and your sensitivity and your compassion, that you have none. Even if your mindset is, well, I realize that you no longer have any children and I have 4, so but your kids is not my kids, and this is not the time to try to, because
And
people
that would definitely be the wrong sentence to come out of your mouth.
but people think like that. There are some people that think that way and don't have the social grooming, needed to express that in a proper way, or know that that's not what you say, or that's not how you bring it. But their mind is, well, I have 4 kids, so my kids become your kids, and it's not like, you don't know where this lady, you're not reading the room. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not understanding what Kena is right now. It's like, I don't need replacements. I'm grieving, bruh. Like, that's not, I don't care. You could have had 29 kids. We could have had a busload. We could have had a stadium. We could have had a village. I wouldn't want none of them right now because
No.
mine is not here. So it's like, you have to think. I feel like there was a very selfish angle to come from, because I feel like it left you out. Although maybe his intentions may have been good, but it really left you out of the equation. Let me read these 2.
Or, go ahead.
Okay.
Read the comment. Go ahead.
Alicia says, no, thank you for letting me read the comments on my show. I appreciate it.
No problem. You're welcome.
Alicia says, seriously, though, the way you say you need a partner to be in supporting you in your breakdown moments, I don't believe he would have been a good fit. Yeah,
Yes,
because
I
in
agree.
this moment, you didn't need a fixer in that moment. You needed a shoulder. So all of these things, because you're trying to do patchwork on. And like I said, even though I believe we do have to be more conscious of our time in this life, because tomorrow isn't promised to anyone. Life is shorter than what we think. So I think you should, if you're connecting with someone, like, again, just take advantage of those moments, because you may not have another one.
Hmm.
But that was poor timing. Go ahead, Eric. What was you gonna say?
So I was going to say maybe his thinking was this. if I ask her to marry me and we get married, we can have a child together as a replacement to the one that she lost. And that's probably his his mindset. And this is me as a man.
And that's a possibility. But again, that's what I'm saying. Like people think what's unthinkable to us is
Mm-hmm.
these aha moment. Like, aha, I got it. I know how to fix it. I know how
Right.
to make her feel better. Like, I'm gonna propose. We're gonna have two more kids because she just lost a kid. It's like
Right.
you cannot replace a person
Right.
with
Right.
like you can't do it. You
Right.
know, you're right. Something that could have been the thought process and the mindset, but it's still, even if it was, um,
Don't
it's
worry.
bad timing. It's really bad timing because those were not options that you needed in that moment. I mean, it's like, dude, my child is not even like it's only been 72 hours. Like, I'm still just trying to breathe. You know, Paris says I agree with Eric. Like I said, that
Thank you, Paris. See? Mhm.
he feels vindicated now.
This is why I'm on this panel.
Is this
I'm
why?
telling you.
Why?
I'm telling you. I'm giving you the man's point of view. I'm
You
giving you my point of view
as a
and
man.
Right.
how some men are thinking about stuff. Yes,
I-
And
I'm breaking the bro code and I don't care.
okay, all right.
I
Well,
love it.
we don't.
And men are fixers. I'm sorry, I'm reading
Well, no, go ahead, read it.
Coach Claiborne.
Go ahead.
Men are fixers, so when they see their woman hurting, a man will try to make it better. And I agree, but in that situation, it couldn't possibly have made it no better because, like I said, I have none at this point. I am grieving mine, and you have four. That is just traumatic in itself. And I'm not taking away. By the way, I love kids. If it was up to me, I'd have 10. But what I'm trying to say is, at that time, had he maybe asked me 4 months later, I probably would have said yes, because at that point I might have been slightly a little different place. But at that time, that was not, to be honest, appropriate. And it was actually a shock to me. It actually turned me off. And what I'm learning about this dating market right now, and you guys can tell me if you guys agree or not. A lot of people, when they have like three, four, five kids, they're probably not wanting to have no more than one more. If they allow you, unless they can push out twins, unless I just happen, and twins do run in my family, unless they um literally do a one shot move and give you twins, um they probably are done, especially if they've had their two three they've had their one boy one girl, or two boys two girls. A lot of times people are just not trying to have a whole football field of especially in this day and age where milk is $30. Like, ain't nobody doing that.
Girl, listen.
And eggs are like $45. Ain't
That's when
nobody
you
trying
live
to
on
do
a
that. And I
farm.
don't care how much money I'm making
$5 for
and the
six.
person's making it.
Get your
You're
own
not.
chickens and get your own
So
cow.
Well,
that's why
well,
it's very important to me to be with someone who has maybe one, like I said, two, possibly if we have that car. And oh, by the way, I am very blunt. Listen, I want to get married and I want to have children. Where are you at with that? And I just have it up front. I'm not saying, actually, day one, I don't even talk about the marriage part, but I'm like, hey, I do want children. What is your thoughts about that? And if a man says no, or he'll do one, you gone, because I want at least two. I want at least two. Like, I want at least two. After what I experienced with my daughter, I realized that having one is not enough. And I'm not saying this would happen to me or this is another tragedy. This was like an anomaly, but two.
You
So,
you would have had you lost one, but you still would have had the second one to help ease the pain a little bit
correct.
better because you still have that companion
Mm-hmm.
and so forth. Whereas now, you're used to having a child run around the house. Mommy, can I have this? Mommy, can I have that? And so forth and so on. And you don't have that now. But if you had
Mm-hmm.
a second child, then that would ease up a little bit because now that second child is running around doing the same thing. It's not that you're missing the first one. It just helps to ease that transition a little bit because you have that other child there. And or like I didn't have, like, when my sister passed, I don't have on my mom's side, I don't have another sister or brother to lean on. And because now my nieces and nephews don't talk to anybody else in the family except me, I'm
Mm-hmm.
the only uncle and so forth. I'm the only uncle that they ever knew. They're in their 40s anyway. So, um, but I have to step up and be that parental figure, so to speak. I got to step in now and be like, yeah, yeah, but Uncle Eric, yeah, I'm still your uncle, but I'm telling you, this is not right,
Mm-hmm.
and so forth. So, I still got to go ahead and go through all those motions and all that. So,
Oh, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Well, first of all, Paris said you're welcome, Eric. I didn't want to be the one to say it.
yeah.
That's your comment. She also says, I know some of my male friends would think that way too. We function differently. And she again says, in therapy, did you speak with women who had multiple kids? Did their kids suffer from their mom's grief? Before you answer that question, um, I want to kind of answer your question, as you mentioned about out here in these dating streets, because we don't want to just necessarily bypass that. Now, Eric can't answer that because he's married. So, I mean, if he chooses to, he's on his own. But what's not going to happen is your
I
wife
used
is
to be out there in the streets too.
comments and she ain't going to be texting me with no tomfoolery on the night. So we're not going to go there. I will say, well, for me, 'cause I'm in a different bracket. So, at the age of this big old age of 55, I'll be 56 in November. If I meet a man right now who wants kids, I'm going to definitely introduce you to a friend. I'm going to introduce them to Kena because, bruh, my son is now 23. I'm trying to get him out of my house. Okay? As much as I love him, I need him to go. We're not starting over. I would literally poke a hole in my wrist and bleed out slowly because I'm not going back. I promise you I'm not. I mean, if you have kids already, that's fine and that's one thing. But in all seriousness, Kena, I will say this in my experience, and I'm just being honest. This is the experience that I've had. These dating streets now are really different. The men that I've had approach, I would say for whatever reason, are much younger now. They, don't think they're shocked when they find them in my 50s. In your 30s, you're talking like, you could be my kid. I'm like, you would be my son's best friend. Like y'all could hang out. But I do find that in the conversation, and they'll try to convince you that they like older women, and I'm like, that's good, but I don't do milk. Like I don't do that. But I'm just saying because they're young. That they're young, and but they do want kids. They do, and I'm absolutely not. I'm thank you. I would be a jaguar if I chose. Thank you. But a lot of them do. But in their 30s and 40s, a lot of them do. Either they have kids and they do want more, or some of them, I would say, have kids and don't want any more kids, but they don't want kids because of the experiences that they've had with the kid's mother, which is another thing that affects the relationship that see what you started, Eric.
I was thinking that. Thank you for saying it, Paris.
I will not be a cougar. Okay, I'm of Jaguar age. Okay, when you over 50, it becomes just a little different. But I'm just saying, not that I'm in that. I'm not going there, guys. Just like that's not my thing. I can't do young.
Oh, embrace your cougarness.
I shall not. I shall not. First of all, I wouldn't do that because I'm already raising a child. I don't need. There's experiences in your 30s that you have not yet had. And clearly, as an older woman who's had life experience, which is usually what I find most young men like, The fact that you have, when you have that age gap between men and women, it's because the younger men love the fact that the woman has experience.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But you don't have experience. And I don't want to be your experience.
Of course.
I don't do that. So I mean, and I'm all for, listen, you find your love, stick with it. I'm just saying. But in these dating streets, you have a really good point. You make a good point, Kena, and I just say stick to your guns. Because the one thing you don't want is for someone to become what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want you to be bitter towards me later. I don't want you to be resentful towards me later. And if I already know, it's those that try to convince you. Then now, but come on, because we'll be no. And it's just, and it's okay. Let's just accept where we are now and move on so that you can get to the person who you're in alignment with and wanting the same things. I want 2 more kids. I want 3 kids. Even having another child, like I said, I only have one. God forbid, the Lord lent him to me and the Lord decided to bring him back. I would not be looking for, even if I had another child, I would not.
Janet Jackson, come on now.
Paris, you had too much Tina Turner down and now Dawn B.
I can't.
Paris is crazy.
I only like grown men. I only like grown men.
Ah,
I would not be a part of that.
It's my bedtime. Y'all play too
famous
much. It's time for
cougars.
me to go to
We
sleep.
do, we do. But it's been great. We gonna bring you back for part 2.
No,
Absolutely.
it's just a joke because I see all the shenanigans.
Oh, this is the tomfoolery that happens for real. When you come on this show, again, we start one way, but at 8:30, that is the hour where we turn the corner, and I don't care what we're talking about, it turns into what, like it is now, Dawn B after dark.
It's like the red
And
curtains close and the black curtains open.
with the candlelight comes on, the black light comes on. With really though, it's what love. Talking about love and loss, but it's a great point because in that loss of your daughter, nothing will ever replace her, but you still have that the nature of nurturing that you still have to give, to another child or to other children. So, in wanting to fulfill that, when we all leave here, we should leave here empty, having given all that we are supposed to give in all. So again, I would just say make sure you stick to your standards. If you holding out, sis, hold out for it all. That's all I'm
I'm
saying.
holding out. You better believe it.
I have a question,
I
Tina.
am.
I have a question. Um, would you consider adoption instead of going, or you just want to feel the experience of having a natural childbirth again?
So when I had my daughter, this is a funny story. I had a beautiful pregnancy. You know how some women they throw up, they have all these symptoms.
Yeah.
It was literally at the 11th hour of my pregnancy, I ended up having preeclampsia. Whenever you guys bring me back, I'll talk more about arranged marriages. I would love to talk about arranged marriages and how it
Yo,
can take you down.
Come on.
oh,
Literally. So I actually married someone that my dad selected for me. So my first marriage, I don't count. That was just a trial run. So
yo, we got
I
to have
had
that conversation.
preeclampsia.
She said it's a
Um, I had preeclampsia, so that was very hard because of all the stress and everything going on in that relationship. So, but I did not have like a push the baby into the world. I actually had a C-section.
come
Um,
on.
however, I want children of my own that I physically birth. However, if it's the Lord's will, I actually sent 21 children to school last year
Oh,
single-handedly. Yes, I have the receipts. So like I said, I love children. These were not my children. They were in the orphanage and they needed money to get to school, and I sponsored 21 kids. So Adopting children is not the issue if that's what the Lord wills for me, but my womb still works, my eggs are still operating. I know they are. I don't have PCOS. I don't have any issues with fertility. I did get that checked out, and it is very important for me to have my own. However, if I need to adopt, I will. But at this time, while my eggs and my uterus and my ovaries and fallopian tubes are working and all that stuff, I want to be able to carry and birth my own children.
Okay.
She said,
Sorry, I know I went the long way, but that's the answer.
"No, you try because
Or
it's the
or
rooms
so
that works for me. That's what
or,
it is for me.
also, what
Ladies,
about if you didn't want to do the relationship way, you could still do the sperm bank way and choose a
nobody's
good candidate. Huh? What happened, Dora?
nobody's doing that. The point is to have the father in the life. What you?
Eh,
Exactly. Statistics show children in a two parent household are more successful. Not that it's not possible, because I was raised in a two parent household. My both of my parents have been married for 40 years. So
Mm-hmm.
December will make them 41 years. So statistics show kids born in a two parent household are more likely to be successful. Not saying that kids in a two parent household is don't go left field. I mean, sorry, left field this way. But I would not want to deprive my child of their father. My daughter was deprived of her father, not because of her doing, her father just did not participate in her life by
Right.
his choice, not by me pushing him out or thrusting him out or telling him he can't be a dad. I actually wanted him to be a father. He just chose not to be. So, and I don't care if he's watching this, he can prove me wrong. He was not. So I don't agree with having going that route. Unless I'm like getting 49 and it's just I'm going through perimenopause or menopause or whatever you want to call it, and
That
I ain't got no options. But I want the children that I have to be able to be with their father. Even if I were to get married now and the father and I did not work out, I would dare not stop him from being a dad to his children, because children need a man in their life.
Of
And a
course.
lot of times women try to thrust their fathers out because they're mad and they hate the man, but that is not the way to go. If he wants to be a part of that child's life, he wants to nurture, take care, feed, clothe, do the father duties, he should be able to do that. Whatever you're feeling, that's between you and that man. Don't take and I oh let me go back. Let me run it back. Let me run it back. But I want the dad to be there. I don't want to be
Understand.
a single mother.
well, Eric, you had one subscriber,
Yeah, I know. I
but
know. I see her comment.
Thank you.
Paris took back her membership. She said, "Okay, Eric, you've lost my support at the sperm bank."
Well, it was a question
No,
because
no,
yes, that
no,
that
it's,
is
it's too late now. It's too
no,
late.
no, 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 because it was a serious question, because some women do choose to go down that route because they if you don't find the man that you are looking for, that's going to fulfill everything that you want, that's the alternative solution to that. Because with that, there's a whole profile that you go through that you can read on. Their,
Well,
what I'm saying, their whole background and so forth.
I mean, that's true. It is an option. Let me just see some comments. Alicia says the after dark is party. Yes, it is. After dark is always a party. And I hope y'all are ready because August is going to be all after dark conversation. So just
Can
prepare
I
you.
come?
Oh, please do.
I
Yes.
have some after dark conversations we can have.
You can show, come on. I will drop you the link. Sis, don't play with me. There
I
is
will. I'll be here.
okay. Listen, welcome to the team, Keena. Welcome to the team. Paris said, "Wait, did you say your first marriage didn't count?" She did. She said it. I was getting ready to say mine didn't either. But I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You what? What?
It absolutely did
No,
help shape me who I am, because arranged marriage is a bad idea if you don't know, if you truly did not know that person or your family didn't know that person, it's not a good idea.
I'm sorry.
I didn't get an option. I had a kind of semi choice, but I didn't select my spouse. That was selection for me.
I need a drink now. I can't believe you said that, Dawn.
I'm sorry. You know what? I was just. It was in the moment. I'm sorry. For those of you who don't know, Keena doesn't realize. Eric is my ex husband. He's Jalen's father. So he's. So,
Where's the end button? No, I'm just kidding.
it came out my mouth before. I apologize. Sometimes
Whew.
sometimes things come out.
Yeah,
Uh
but we definitely have to have her back so we can discuss the arranged marriage situation. Cause
Look,
boy,
Paris,
y'all got stories on that one.
Paris is back inside. She said, "Dang, Eric, dang, that hurt, Eric. I'm sorry. I'm playing. I'm just, well, I'm gonna stop talking now. Let me see. I'm gonna read some comments. I know a lot of I know a lot of successful arranged marriages. Let's see. What else did she say? Paris, you are saving me today. Sperm banks should be called jumping into spiritual warfare. Um, okay. So seriously, on that side of things, I do understand the point. That you were making as that's an option for some. And I think that it all ties into again what your moral compass is, what your beliefs are, and the reality of, like Keena said, if she was in her late 40s and relationship wasn't, on the horizon or whatever, you may consider it at that point. But typically, I believe I can't even say most women, some, not all, do not even in going that route you're understanding that you are signing up to do this alone, which is
Right.
difficulty in and of itself. And even with screening the person, you're really screening their genetics, not their personality, not, their character. That's really all that you're going to get. And it can be presented in a way like you are picking this stellar person because of what they sound like and what they're doing, but it doesn't guarantee that your child is going to come out and be the next millionaire or president that they may make it to seem like. But
Right.
those are questions, you really have to think about. And most women, or some women, want the experience of the relationship. You want the child to be the product of your love. Like, kids don't have anything to do with the marriage. Marriage is between two people. Family is what includes the kids. Like,
Right.
nobody else is signing. Okay, thank you, Paris. Paris said, "Yep, genetics." Okay, Dawn, I'm back in your corner. Thank you. I redeemed myself.
Yo, she's gonna stop flip flopping right here.
Nah, she can do what she wants. She's back on my side, so she's straight. But that is something to consider. And Keena is bringing out so many like good points, good angles that are creating so many other questions that digs deeper into the simple point of how love and loss affects our lives.
Mhm.
It is not just as simple, that whole surface level, as we would think. She brought it from the personal part of losing her daughter down to the fact of how it affects relationship decisions. And here we are talking about wanting other children, married or single, sperm banks. Who would have thought that the conversation would have gone there? I know
It
I
went
did.
down.
It did. But this is what happens when we go after dark. It goes down.
Hey,
That's,
hey, hey, hey. Am I not allowed to give my opinion
You
or
are
yeah.
allowed.
suggestion on
Nobody,
something?
listen, nobody is. We are thanking you. We are thanking you for what you have lent to this conversation on tonight. We are appreciating it. I'm just saying, we do appreciate it. We appreciate you.
Ooh,
And Lady Dawn, I'm so sorry, Eric. Go ahead.
I got one more serious question for you, Keena. When your daughter transitioned, how did the father feel?
Um, so I was gonna answer the question before yours. Somebody put in the chat, but let me answer that question.
Okay.
Um, I gotta say, I gotta be very careful of what I say because I gotta be mindful. But her father did not come to the funeral. His reasonings as to why were ridiculous, but that's another reason. But we'll just say this without saying too much. He, if he was grieving, and nobody could tell. I'll just put it that way. because he had no relationship to her with her, so he had no emotional attachment.
Right.
So I don't want to say too much because there are other things that that legally I can't say because
Right.
it did drag me into a legal battle, not because
Okay.
of me, but I will say that if there was grief there, I couldn't tell. Like, I mean, not even me. I'm just saying nobody could tell. People are like, "Wait, what?" So, um what's the no. He wasn't, he didn't show. Yeah,
Okay. It wasn't visible.
no. And
So when
Right.
also he's not we're not connected anymore. Once my daughter transitioned, um Mm. Once my daughter transitioned, he made some decisions that made me question his love of his child, and that would have been the best time for him and I to connect and just talk about how, you know, he could have maybe been more involved. The funeral was taken care of by myself and my parents, and we did the whole thing, the whole arrangement. And essentially, um I was hurt. I told him not to come because he wasn't in her life, so why do you care about her not being here?
Right.
But at the same time, he wasn't legally, or police, nobody could stop him from physically um coming, because I was mad. I was just, I'm in a roller coaster. I don't care about you. You was never there for her, when she was breathing. Why do you care that now that she's not breathing? But that was me and my emotions. My siblings did tell him, if you want to come, don't let Tina's emotional roller coaster, this is, her only child, show up, just don't act a fool. And I didn't even know they had that conversation until after everything had calmed down. He didn't come, and he was in town, so it wasn't like, oh, he was on a truck in Timbuktu. He was right in Florida, and he just made a conscientious decision not to be there. And like I said, I will admit that I did say that don't show up because you didn't care about her when she was breathing. But that's still, and just knowing myself and knowing men that I've talked to about the circumstances, because people did ask me this question and I explained what happened, and they said there would be nothing that would keep them. The police would have to arrest them and drag them out of the church. And like at the time when I was at the funeral, the church had a lot of people. I didn't even know. Like, I literally had the funeral like 5 days later. So the fact that all these people showed up was insane because it was on a Friday. So Sunday we didn't make it to church. Of course, Monday I was planning the funeral, which was one of the
Yeah.
hardest thing to do it, and just signing all these paperwork. And they had to slowly, in the funeral home, and my sister's a funeral director, so that was even more easier because she could explain to me. And that was like a hard process. And of course I'm not going to want him there, but they told me legally you can't stop him. If he wants to come, he can come. And he was told that, he was advised of that. So it's not like, I could technically say, oh, you can't show up. And I've had men say, I don't care what you would have said, they would have had to arrest me and take me out. But even when I was at the funeral, going back to that, I didn't even know who was all there. It was when I saw the book I realized there was a lot. I mean, when I turned around, I noticed, like, as I was getting up following the casket, but there was a lot of people there. So um and it was literally within 5 days. We had it Saturday, she left the earth. Friday we had the
services.
memorial.
Right. Right.
And so his motives were very clear, that he was not had no plans of coming. He just used, I'm gonna say it, and I don't care if he ever rewatches this, he used me saying don't come, don't show up, for him not to show up. But if you were going to show up, you would have showed up anyway, because you've
Right.
shown up to things that I told you not to come to, and you've showed up anyway. So this shouldn't have been no exception. And trust me,
Right.
I've told him, you don't belong at this particular area. And he still came. So why would this, and this is your daughter's going away memorial, and you didn't show up. So I don't believe anything you say, and I'm saying it bluntly. I do not believe that me telling him not to come was the reason why he didn't come. He was just not going to come.
Right.
And that's, um, it could be very, very, very touchy time. But you make a valid point, and understanding it's always about the backstory,
Mm-hmm.
and those things, like you said, you showing up for other things, but not for this. And it's everyone's personal choice,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, you know. Sometimes we don't choose better when we should. Paris said, I'm sorry you didn't have his support. And Roderick, hi. Thank you for hanging in there. Says guilt and grief. Excuse me, guilt and grief. I'm sorry, my throat, y'all. Guilt and grief at times can be taken as the same. That's a good point.
That is a good point, but I can't say too much, like I said, for legal
Yeah.
reasons. But of course, Lady Dawn and I have discussed it. You understand why I'm not saying too much, but you know
Mhm.
why he wasn't there. So I can't really say guilt or grief, either or. And me being a grief coach, and me talking to different people, and just even being in circles in my circumstance, there is a difference, and neither one apply here, I can assure you. And I'm not saying anything bad. Like I said, I don't have any bad blood against him. He made his decisions. Our marriage was fully arranged. Just to be transparent, I brought him to the United States.
Oh,
um
okay.
I, I brought him to the United States of America. And like I said, I'm Haitian by culture. And my sister, I don't know if she left, but I'm saying this so what I'm saying is true, because she would text me, say, girl, stop lying, you know what I mean? So she is here. I have witnesses who know the backstory. So just to be fully transparent, he was born in Haiti. I brought him here. My parents, like I said, my dad specifically, had introduced us, and we end up getting married within like 5 days of meeting face to face. And he got here, and like I said, while I was pregnant with my daughter. So and I don't want to go into too many details, but I'm telling you, I can speak from clearness that if he wanted to be there, he would have been there.
Right.
Right. And
He would have been there.
you're speaking truth
So
about your journey, and that is what it is. Again, it's
he
always
wasn't there for her birth, and it made it. He when she was being born, he wasn't there. So when she left this earth, he wasn't there. So that I'm giving you high level, so you know if he.
oh,
Oh, see,
sis is
my
here.
sister just thank you, and my phone is nowhere near. So so
We see.
so
We
he wasn't there for her birth. He wasn't there for her
Right.
for her loss.
just
So that's just there we go.
that is if keep the same energy was a person. That's
I would
Yeah.
put a photo.
but I do like this and appreciate this comment, Rod, because that's something that sometimes, while it may not be applicable in Kena's situation, in this story, of her journey, this part of her journey, but it is something that is true that I think that sometimes we need to consider and keeping in
Mhm.
mind as people are showing up, in these type of moments and situations. Now how we handle it is a whole different story, but guilt and grief at times can be taken as the same. And I'm
Mhm.
like, that's something I never thought about, because it'll make you think about why a person is reacting or responding a certain way. Is it because they feel guilty about something, or is it really out of the grief of the situation? So that's really good. I appreciate that. And thank you, sis, for coming in and verifying. See, we got a fact checker in the building. She verified, not that we ever doubted one
Yeah.
amazing
um,
story.
I did want to address that one last question about individuals who have come to me about loss in their siblings. Yes, there are individuals who lose their children whose siblings do suffer, who struggle and suffer because they all grew up in a household, and they now this sibling is was there one day and the next day they're not there. And then sometimes um sometimes it's different for children. Actually, one of my close friends, I don't know if she's watching or she popped in, I know not everybody's speaking, but she lost a sibling when she was young, and she literally like went into a blackness, like did this really occur? And then one day she literally lost it, and didn't know how to act when she finally realized that her sibling was gone. And then I was talking to one woman who explained to me that the two brothers were very close. Brother just happened to have a really bad tragic accident and passed away, and the brother just acted out, didn't know how to act, didn't know how to express their emotions, and they're a teenager. So a kid that was well behaved started being this child that you don't even know, like it's like their brain just altered and just didn't know how to act anymore. So yes, children are affected more than you know. If you have anyone, like I said, even though you might see my prices on the website, I will not turn away anybody due to financial reasons, especially if it's a child, because unless you've been through a tragic grief like that, losing a sibling at a young age, they even if you take them to therapy, unless you know or you've been sitting in a lost seat, it's hard to understand. Like I said, I'm not taking away from clinicians. I'm not saying therapists don't know what they're talking about or anything like that. But my therapy journey has given me keys and tools to overcome. But I had to find my own way, and I'm learning my strategies are working for people. Especially like the letters, allowing them to say whatever they gotta say. Now, I may not use profanity, but I allow people that safe space, because sometimes you don't know. You can't talk to your parents about that. You can't talk to your friend. You can't talk to your spouse. And they need that place where somebody can just let them be whatever and be who they need to be to express. And sometimes people just want to just talk about how I'm struggling with this. Like, is this really happening to me? I don't cry every day, but I feel angry, and I can explain to them, oh yeah, I have my angry moments. And that's okay too. And but children are affected more than we know, but we never take the time to ask them how they're feeling. We assume, oh, they're a child, or they're under 10, or they're under 18. Yeah, they're hurting, but they don't go through things. And they do. They have their own emotions. They're people too. They're just not adults, but they're people too.
Right. And we have to teach them how to, and I think a lot of times we don't do that because we may not have the capacity to deal, or to help them navigate that space and walk them through. And when we don't know how to do something, we often go into that avoidance space, and so we avoid and we will brush it off. But it does need to be addressed. I'm like, sometimes we just have to find it.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's not that you always have to have the whole answer. Sometimes just be there. Just allow the child or the person to speak, to vent, express their feelings, and just be understanding again. Because what happens to one affects the whole family, and it's going to come up really different for everyone, at different times. But this has been amazing. We are definitely going to have a part 2 with Kena, and just let her come back and share some more. Talk to you about her other businesses, just everything. It's just going to be Kena hour, maybe. I don't know.
So I'm excited to say this, since you're talking about my other businesses. I just signed up for immigration with the climate of our country right now. I decided, because I'm a notary. So for you guys who don't know, I am a notary, and I'm a loan signing agent. So people who are in Florida, who know people who are purchasing a home or need assistance, like refinance or whatever, I am a loan signing agent. So I have the whole notary across the board. I just joined on that immigration bandwagon. So if you guys know people who are needing assistance with their paperwork, I'm almost done with my certification. It's not that long. That's something else I thought about that while I was thinking about my other businesses. Especially in Florida, I do loan signings and things of that nature. And I do assist with, and I'm an online notary too. So if you're in Florida, um, but or if you are in another state but you need something, a document signed for Florida, I can do it as a an online notary. So those are things that I do offer. So, and then it's funny because when you're doing online notary, sometimes I have to sign certain documents, and I'm like, oh, I am so sorry you lost someone, and I get to talk to them, and I don't sound, I can't stay for too long because I have to get going. But it is a thing, like you meet people all over. So I don't only meet people face to face. Sometimes I meet people just doing documents.
Yeah, see, so guys, go. I told y'all she's one stop shopping. So make
And the
sure that
immigration is across the board, anywhere in the country. Like, I'm not stuck to Florida doing immigration paperwork.
just make sure that you go to her website. It's purplebookclub.com, where you can purchase this amazing book and find out about all her other services, because she is the woman who does it all. She is definitely, I am every woman, is all in me. And, I'm just glad my sis was able to come on and join us tonight. This has been so good and so amazing as we are wrapping up this month of July, talking about family matters. Who knew where this conversation was going to go? But I am hopeful and I'm trustful and I am certain that anybody who was here got nuggets out of it. Come on, put it up close in the camera so they can see. So let's support my sister here. Go to, again, purplebookclub.com. Get your copy in this series. This is a limited edition because it is the first in the series, but not the last. So guess what? When you get this one, I know I'm going to get mine. But when you get this one, guess what? Somebody else may not ever get it, because this is the first round, the first run, and it's the limited edition. So make sure that you go and get it on purplebookclub.com. I'm sure she will sign them for you
I
um,
will.
as you purchase. And
100 copies. I'm sorry to jump in, but there's only 100 copies, meaning that this, I'm probably not going to be selling this book anymore after my 100 copies go. And I've already been, while I've been here, because I'm on my iPad, I've noticed people were ordering. I don't know where everybody's ordering from. And once those 100 copies are gone, I
right.
may order more, but then they'll be on back order.
I am
So if I
ordering
do, I
mine
may get
now.
another 50 if it's really high demand. But that's it, because this book was literally the start. But I am doing Purple Princess. That's gonna be my next series. I can give that one away, but the Purple Book Club is gonna be about my daughter Purple Princess, and you're gonna be meeting her and things to that nature. So I'm really excited. I'm actually gonna pull up my phone, because since you, and I'm so sorry, I just wanted to just really do that quick.
No, you're fine.
Um, there is this is a website. I actually also I'm doing two purple bows because my daughter wore bows. So if you guys are interested in the bows, it's two. And the price is on there. And then what I do is, this is me hand laminating different quotes. Wear a purple bow in remembrance of my daughter Evalicia. We called her Shasha. And what I do is, I put the bows on two sides of a laminated paper that I made. Like, I think about quotes that just come in my spirit to give to you, to encourage you. It may be something like, you are loved, or you are powerful, or you're an overcoming. Love Shasha, like something. But the bows is because she wore bows. As you can see, I had pictures. I have, if you go and you find her online, if you put her name online, you'll see her obituary. She wore um bows in her hair. And I'm gonna tell you something, she would not let us complete her hair unless we put those bows. And since purple and yellow was her favorite color, but I'm doing the purple bows. I'll probably end up throwing some yellow bows in there too, but I am doing them myself, the bows, and I'm actually laminating them and in support. Those are unlimited. It's not a limited thing, it's a long-term thing. And what I'm doing with those bows is, I'm doing it to support families. Like I said, I want to eventually make this a nonprofit organization, because grief is serious. Like, people don't understand how serious grief is until you've gone through it. And I'm realizing grief is a real thing. And I don't want nobody to be like, oh, I can't get support or coaching or someone because of lack of funds. So every proceed that they do goes into a Purple Book Club Inc. It is incorporated. It is a real business. It's not something I just made up. It is very incorporated. It's a very real business. I am gonna turn it into a nonprofit just to support families with grief and also heart, because my daughter did have a not a good heart, and I do want to help those people with heart conditions. And I do put those proceeds into a legacy fund for her, so that it goes back, especially in our community. Not that I'm against any other community, but especially in our community, because like, our community is very tough, and we are taught to be tough. But not only we need the support. We need people who can say, you know what, you don't have to be tough. It's okay to break down. It's okay to have those emotions and feelings.
Yeah, and so, guys, you here to hear yourself all the wonderful things that these proceeds of the book and of the bowls go to. So please make sure you go visit her site. Let's support. Let's make this bigger than life itself. Get your limited edition, share it with someone, give it as a gift. Look for the continuous series, because at the end of the day, it's all about us supporting each other through this process of love and loss that we all deal with. And if your day hasn't come yet, keep living. We all have to experience this on one side or the other. So before we close the show tonight, I want to give Eric his 2 minutes to give your final thoughts and comments, please. And thank you, sir. Eric just ordered his, so um, that is wonderful. He's really quick with that. Paris says, I pray your endeavors are successful. Many blessings. So I'm going to put the link back up, or the website back up. Eric, come on and give your final closing comment and thought, please, sir.
Okay, my final thoughts would be grief does not have to be done alone. Um, find you a good support system to be around, your sister circle, your brother circle, family circle, and make sure you just have that support to help you get through what you need to get through. Just know that you are not alone in any situation that you are having in your life at this present time. I know I'm not alone. I You can seek a therapist. There's nothing wrong with seeking a therapist, and that's a problem that we as African Americans have.
Mm-hmm.
It, we don't like to go and get help, and so forth. Our help, you can't have your help in the form of a bottle or a needle or weed, whatever your choice of drug is or whatever the case may be. It has to be prayer, love, and support of family and friends. Thank you.
For those who are of this, oh, for those who are of the belief in prayer,
Yes,
meditation, or whatever your moral compass is, as we always say, because we want to make sure everyone feels included.
yes, your
Thank
moral compass.
you for that, E. Come on, Kina, give us your final thoughts, comments, um, and outside of the website information. Tell them, is that the best place for people to reach you? How can they reach you on social media? Um, and the floor is yours. Sorry.
So I do, luckily for me, I do have, if you go on the website, you can schedule a 15-minute meeting with me. I'm actually, like I said, I'm revamping everything. I'm in my calling now. I do have a phone number. I'm gonna just give it out publicly. I do have a business phone number. If you guys want to just call me and just say, "Hey, I'm going." It doesn't. By the way, grief is not only for the loss. A loss of a marriage is grief. That's another form of
Mhm.
unalive. We got to be careful, but unalive. Getting a divorce is, so when I say grief and grief and support, it doesn't necessarily have to be because you lost a physical person buried in the ground. If you're grieving the loss of a relationship, like you were with your boyfriend or your girlfriend for 15 years, you can also grieve, like I said, if you get a divorce, you were friends with somebody for like 20 years and they decided they don't want to be friends with you anymore. That is a form of grieving. So my support, although I do support people who lost a loved one or children, that is not the only reason. If you want to just call me, even though I do have services that I do provide for a charge, but if you just want to call me, which I'm going to give out my number, it's 321. This is not my personal cell, my business cell is off. So if y'all would try to call me tonight, y'all just out of luck. But 321 378 7355. That is my business cell phone. I am more than happy to talk to anybody who just needs to say, Kina, I am grieving. I'm going through something and I just need you to listen. I am a very good listener, so I will listen for however long. And then, of course, if it gets intense, then we'll, schedule a real session. But I will just listen. And grief is not okay to go through by yourself. That is my final thought. Grief is not okay to go through by yourself. I literally grieved for 13, not even 13 months, because I've started healing, but I grieved for my daughter passed away June 15th, for a solid, even though people were calling me and checking on me, but I physically was grieving alone for like 9 months. Alone, like physically alone. Like in my house by myself. Even though I would call one of my friends and she would come and cry with me. But there were days I couldn't call her anymore because she's married and has a whole husband. So but you do not have to be grieving alone. I eventually, my prayer is, if you guys can pray, I will have a team. That's how I want to turn this into a nonprofit. Have a team where people can just call and they're actually grieving coaches that actually just, this is what they do, is just pick up the phone 24 hours a day. I'm not talking about like boys and men, like whatever they call it, like boys. I think it's called the boys club or whatever. But literally all it does is for grief. Grief of whatever type, grief of a marriage, grief of a child, grief. I eventually want to do that. Um, and like I said, I want to teach people how to write letters to their loved ones. And dear John, I'm mad that you left me. So, but grief is not okay to be alone. You should not have to grieve by yourself. Ever. Ever.
I love that. And I think after tonight, after this conversation, and again, we not here as this is not a counseling or therapy session. We are on here having conversation. And I think that we have accomplished our task, and that is us being iron that sharpens iron, us creating a safe space for people to come and talk and share, to gain information and knowledge and have conversation, just basic conversation with one another, where we can find out and feel that we are not alone. You know, here at the Bravo Network, again, we do have licensed and certified therapists and clinicians that you can also reach out to. Pastor Sheila is one. She is amazing. You know, there's Dr. Cheryl. I mean, there's so many that are here that if you need to get in touch with someone, as well as Kena, we've shared her information. You can always reach out to us here at Bravo. We are here to help heal, and heal one person at a time, one moment at a time. And I'm going to say what my mentor and my auntie Bravo, Pastor Sheila, says, and I'm going to get her a t-shirt that says it, and we're going to copyright it for her. But she says, when nothing changes, nothing changes. And I love that. That statement alone caused me to change. That's what some of us need to hear through our grieving process, is that we understand we've suffered a loss. We are enduring a loss. We are navigating our way through a loss. But there comes a day, a point, a time of awakening where we have to start to make a change. Mm-hmm. There has to be a pivot, because we cannot stay here always. We have to live beyond our loss. So I truly appreciate, I knew that this podcast would be everything, because my sis was coming, I was very excited about it. And we are definitely going to have a part 2. So y'all tune in, keep an eye out for the up and coming return. Put back up her website so that you can go again, purchase the book if you haven't already. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in on tonight. I want to, as always, that that we appreciate you here on the Bravo with Sheila Network. It has been an amazing night of amazing conversation. Make sure that you hit that thumbs up button on your way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. Join us tomorrow over on the Sheila Ingram Ministries Network across the street at 11 a.m. for the Women of Grace. Make sure you subscribe over there too. And then meet us back on Monday night right here, 7 p.m. for Dr. Elaine and I for Mondays Beyond the Mic. And guess what? Your week isn't done then, because next Thursday, 1 week from today, we'll be back on Thursday night with me, your girl, Lady Dawn B, right here at 7 p.m. And we're going to have the ladies panel. Just some girls chatting. That's all. We're just going to have some girl chat. I don't know. We might have to pull Kena in, get her started in the group. We're just gonna come and vibe and end the summer, but we don't want the men to go too far because before the session is over, we want to bring our men up to add some commentary so we have some balanced conversation. But we want to kick it off with the ladies. And guys, make sure that you hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss anything in August. Because August is going to be, since it's the hottest month of the summer, we're going to have all the hot conversation. Y'all know how we do it. It's going to be after dark all month long. The gloves are off. There are no limits in conversation. So it is going to go down. I want to thank my sister Kena for coming on. I love you so much. I appreciate you. I can't wait for you to come back and tell the rest of your story. And Bravo Nation, you know what it is. I love y'all. Have an amazing night. Don't forget to come back next week. And we will see you then. Have a great Friday and a great weekend. Hang on me for a second, guys.
All right.
That information for me. Important you get a portion of fortune pouring. Confession, fortunately, blessings on now they snoring. You mellow, so focus on scoring. Got you underperforming. I never expect something, never assume nothing. Judging me for my past, but that's why I'm triumphant. I don't demand, I know where I stand like engineer hands. Watch how my life pans. That game plan, show out like a jotter, pop out like a cutter. Telling the quick rock, skipping the culture squares like hopscotch. This gonna be my mood to my beat drop. Putting my boogie shoes in my ditty boots, ain't no stop. I'ma make the rest of